I have to admit, I have to be very honest, it was not as good as I remember it being 5 years ago. I don't know, but I'm really curious how AB is going to defend Ethan and how good his arguments are. So playback speed, faster, 1.5. Defending H3H3, my response to the video Vigilante. Like, if you title your video already Defending H3H3, it means like, yeah, you're not going to like agree to anything. That's kind of weird. But let's see. Completed after hundreds of hours of research. This is...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today
is that him or is that the video? I do believe that sometimes he's like showing things from the video and it's unclear whether it's his editing or the video.
I'm giving my take on the video Vigilante made about Ethan Klein from H3H3.
The mask thing. But let's go.
Comments in my previous video suggest that I watch this video. This video was made by a channel called Gokanaru, and I want to start off by saying I don't intend on attacking Gokanaru personally. It's not easy for a video to blow up. I commend him for the attention that it got. It has big YouTubers.
Got a lot of videos. Got a lot of views. Got pulled because of the ending.
Even though then again we know why Keemstar's commenting on it.
You're probably...
We know why Keemstar is commenting on it. I guess... I need to slow it down. He talks a bit fast. Let's go.
Just to be objectively, the most hated...
He was having beef with Keemstar, right? But yeah.
...person on YouTube.
The most hated...
The fact that Keemstar is agreeing with the video, it was a pretty good video.
Regardless, congrats. I wish your channel future success. Seems like you put a lot of time into your videos, and I commend you on that. I went into this video with an open mind. After seeing the like to dislike ratio and all the praise the video is getting, I thought that I may actually see some stuff that makes me dislike Ethan. But I gotta say, after watching it, I feel the same. I disagree with...
Yeah, there was a lot of valid criticism in the video, so
a lot of the points made, and I want to go through point by point and give my rebuttal. As I stated before, I'm not going to be attacking Gokanaru personally. I'm just going to focus on the points made. I'm going to ignore everything else, such as the skits. That was amazing skits. I'm playing. Fuck, I'm already fucking up. Let's get into it.
So he doesn't agree with anything. If I go back personally, a bit?
I'm just going to focus on the points. I feel the same. I disagree with a lot of the points made.
A lot of the points. So are you willing to also agree that some points are valid or
no?
I
want to go through point by point and give...
My guess is that he's not going to agree to anything. But
my rebuttal. As I stated before, I'm not going to be attacking Gokanaru personally. I'm just going to focus on the points made. I'm going to ignore everything else, such as the skits. That was amazing skits. I'm playing. Fuck, I'm already fucking up. Let's get into it.
Let's go. At least he admitted that the skits are good. He's just putting some clips in.
Goodbye.
That is kind of lame, I have to admit. That is kind of lame.
Don't spill no Jewish blood today.
Jewish blood? Is that what it's...
Chapter 1 of the video focuses on the situation between Ethan and Leafy.
And I mean, if you look at Leafy's channel, all he does is make fun of...
So is he going to... I scanned it really quickly, so I don't even remember exactly what he said. I'm going to be very honest. So I'm kind of like reacting now to this for the first time, but... He's probably just going to show how bad of a person Leafy is, and like Gokanaru agreed that Leafy is a bad person.
And like vulnerable people. No, there's no sport in making fun of these people. It's just sad.
I'm pretty sure that most of you are familiar with the situation. It happened a few years ago. For those of you who aren't familiar, I'll leave a link down below to a Reddit post that sums it up pretty well. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this chapter because I believe in Ethan's response to the situation. He covered all the points that Gokanaru...
The Reddit post on the H3 sub, right?
Up, but I'll go through them quickly. Also, I'll link Ethan's response to this controversy down below, his Reddit post. I think he worded it pretty well and gave a good explanation, including proof of all the points he was giving. So Gokanaru...
He clearly is just agreeing with everything Ethan has ever said.
Gokanaru claimed that he doesn't have a problem with Ethan calling out Leafy. The problem is that he did it when he claimed that they are friends.
The issue is this.
And like...
Ethan did claim that he was friends, and also with the other guy.
Look, me and Leafy are friends, you know?
You're friends.
Does that word have no meaning at all?
Friends with this guy?
Me and Leafy are friends.
Alright, so you're friends with him. So how exactly did you get to this point? Like... Actually, I'll let you play along at home. What do you think? Did Ethan A, discuss the video with you prior to uploading it? B, upload it with no warning whatsoever? Or B, because the answer is...
Isn't H3 super upset with Ian just publishing the Content Cup video? I did mention in my community post as well, like I'm going to use the same information they had, that AB had available when he reacted to this video. But yeah, it is still interesting to reference like what is happening now.
Now, as Ethan clarified himself, his only relationship with Leafy were those
Let's read it. Me and Leafy were friends. He even put me in his sub box. This seems to be the central point in many people's arguments against me. The private conversation that we release represents my entire relationship with him. Every word we have ever spoken to each other. In fact, I didn't even know his name. I did say we were friends in the video, but obviously there are different levels of friendship. We were friendly acquaintances. That is a different thing than friends, so you're the one that said friend. Friend is more than just an acquaintance. Acquaintance, I hate that word. So yeah, that's wrong. So what would I have accomplished by telling him we were going to make a video about him? Nothing. If you would have reached out, then offline, you could tell him like, dude, come on, what are you doing? And maybe you have an influence on him if he's your friend, right? So it's ridiculous to say, what would I have accomplished? Well, don't you want him to not make those type of videos? So this is weird to say. If anything, it could have stirred even more drama. No, not really. If you're sending that privately to him, I don't see how that would stir up even more drama if you're being respectful in your messaging. So the gesture is also not really pointless. It's kind of a friendly gesture, right? To reach out privately and say, hey, it's kind of messed up. So very bad response here from Ethan. And I'm being very honest. He then goes on to make a big show of saying how he put me in his sub box as proof of our friendship, but in our private conversation he says this.
That is the entirety of their relationship. They've never met. He didn't even know his name at the
Yeah, Ethan is the one that called him a friend. Sorry, AB.
time. It's just those messages.
You're just regurgitating the arguments from Ethan. You're just an echo right now.
Now, we all know there's different levels of friendship. Obviously, if Ethan...
You're saying exactly the same thing as Ethan. An acquaintance is not a friend.
made a video calling out someone like Post Malone, one of his close friends, without any prior notice, and that's some shady shit. And
Like, one of the reasons why I'm not going to even listen to music from that guy is like, is he still that friendly with Ethan? Because Ethan has been an asshole and has said some messed up stuff. I don't have a lot of respect for people still being friends with that person, to be very honest.
I know what some of you were thinking, oh, what about the John Tron situation? He did not make a video about John Tron. He told him face to face he doesn't agree with him, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get into that John Tron situation when it comes up.
All right, so right off the bat,
He told him face to face that he does not agree with him. Like, that's the point. Like, he did that during the podcast many, many times. And if that is friend and you can see he's being uncomfortable.
that establishes that Ethan's goal in this was not to stop Leafy from bullying kids.
Yeah. If that is his reaction to it, then no, clearly. Because, yeah, if you really want someone to stop, that you consider a friend, then you would not make that video, you would reach out. Same argument he's using against Ian, like you would not post that video, you would reach out.
It was to stir the pot.
And I do believe Ian said that he reached out, but Ethan did not respond.
To get some drama going, to come out as the hero.
Obviously, as the situation plays out, you can clearly see that Ethan could have made multiple videos about the situation, about Pyrocynical, about Leafy, to just get more views, but he didn't. He could have dragged...
The videos that he made were already for the views. So not a great argument here
He
either.
himself admitted, yeah, he would get millions of views.
He could have made even more. He could have milked it even more, but he milked it. He could have milked it completely dry. Not a great
He was to
argument.
release the videos, but he didn't. And now I'm not trying to defend
Yeah, you're really bad at this. We're only 4 minutes in. This is going to
Ethan
suck.
just because I'm a fan. I don't know if you guys know, but the video of Tommy C, the kid that Leafy bullied, was sent to Ethan on Reddit and asked Ethan to give his take on it. And I don't know if you guys have seen this video. It's hard.
Is that...
Honestly, when I seen this video, it was just a mixed emotion. I was angered. I was sad. It almost brought tears to my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. It was so sad.
All I wanted to do was...
So, Leafy made fun of this guy. But yeah, Gokanaru also showed that Ethan made fun of other people as well, right?
inspire people. Some Leafy guy or team starred people are threatening me. And all I wanted to do was inspire. That's all.
I could totally see Ethan seeing that video and wanting to take a stand against the situation.
Yeah, but he's a hypocrite because he's doing the same type of bullying. How are you going to counter that point? Because that's the main point. Like, he's a hypocrite. He's calling other people out for doing stuff that he is doing himself. Are you going to respond
There's
to
nothing
that?
wrong with it. I think we should commend him for that. If anything, maybe he hurt his career because, of course, he gets the backlash from Leafy fans and Pyrocynical fans, but something had to be said, and I applaud him for saying something.
He's straight up.
Okay, so you're not going to comment on the fact that Ethan is a hypocrite. That animation you constantly see, AB, popping up, it's mostly being a hypocrite, right? At the beginning, if you're going to make a response to this video, what you're supposed to do, if you think for like 5 seconds, is he starts the video by saying, do I still have the video? No. He starts the video with like, these are the claims that I'm going to make, and I'm going to explain to, like, I'm going to defend these claims in this video. You're completely disregarding the hypocrisy, right?
Pyrocynical, a psychopath, cancer, no.
Yeah, that hasn't changed.
No
That's
no gap.
character trait of
It's
Ethan.
his honest, unfiltered opinion between two peers. In the same
Yeah,
platform.
like when he is calling out people, even now, I know AB does not. Now he's still working and supports all of that shit, of course. But like, yeah, it was already clear then, 2018, that Ethan was being a hypocrite by calling people out because he was kind of trying to be a bit more woke, right? He kind of made a shift in his content, so he was calling out other people for being mean while he was mean to a lot of people. So he was a hypocrite.
But what happens when the peasant calls out the saint himself? Does H3H3 Productions go to him and say, "You are cancer, motherfucker. I said it here, and I'm gonna say it now, you're cancer." No.
Leafy has one of the most annoying voices I've ever heard. He's like, so AB was like a blue version of the Deadpool guy? Like, really?
Dude, guess what he does? He
Couldn't you at least make like a new costume or something?
fucking
Okay, let's see.
lies. He tweets out saying,
Yeah, his voice is
"Why you
annoying.
straight lying, dog?"
Oh, okay, so here it was also revealed that Ethan directly lied in a tweet to Pyro.
He
Okay, let's listen.
probably thought that Pyro was just trying to stir the pot. He probably didn't actually consider that Leafy sent him the messages. And as Ethan
He probably thinks that Pyro just was stirring the pot. He didn't consider that Leafy was sending the messages.
said himself,
What?
so what? He was talking shit about a YouTuber he doesn't like. And according to Ethan, Leafy started the conversation.
He was talking shit about another creator towards another creator that he called a friend, but it was not a friend. Like you're completely not talking about the stuff that Gokanaru talked about.
Can you just find like someone to pick on your own size? Like, I mean, seriously, dude, what's going on? You're just picking on kids. What's
So he's a bigger YouTuber, that's the claim here, or the point. Like he's a bigger YouTuber and doing exactly what he is complaining about for another creator that is smaller than him at that moment. Ethan is referring to age, not subcount. Oh my god, this is going to be really bad. So making fun of people that are younger, that's the only reason why Ethan is calling out that person. You're making fun of small... Let's go back.
Started the conversation.
Why not include the first part? I closed the video, but...
Can you just find like someone to pick on your own size? Like, I mean,
You can pick on your own size by also including the size of the platform, right? If someone has a lot of followers and they are reacting to someone, they get activated, right? Stand back and stand by. So yeah, you're making a claim about age. We don't know if that is the case. And also, if it's a claim about the age, like he made fun of people that are younger.
seriously, dude, what's going on? You're just picking.
So, right? Like you're making a claim that it's not about sub size at all, which I think is false because there's a power level there
kids, what
for
the
sure. If someone is 80, like we've seen in the same Gokanaru video where Ethan is making fun of people that are not younger, but that are in a difficult position, that are like mentally not all there. But he's also making fun of younger people, right? And I think that is also made clear in this video. So this is kind of
I know what to
stupid.
say next. The clip of Ethan talking about the 14-year-old white rapper.
Okay, so you're going to defend this then? Is that the only example of Ethan making fun of a younger person?
With a goofy haircut. Okay, there's a difference between the targets, for one. And besides
Age doesn't matter now?
that, the actual context. One is lighthearted humor.
A lot of rappers, their families aren't always fully intact.
Rich. Oh, full intact. Sorry.
There's a lot that might go wrong, whether it be drugs or alcohol. But I'm lucky enough to have a family who's completely
Rich.
intact.
Oh, intact. Sorry again. I mispredicted that.
And the other one is
It's like a young white rapper or something, and he's making fun of him. Remember that video? I think that happened before AB made this video. The video with the black dude that was with that dollhouse and looking inside, and there was a young girl in that video that was doing like a music video, and he was producing music videos of like younger kids, and like was a young white girl, and Ethan turned it into a thing, and that guy actually considered Robloxing himself and stuff, like because of the harassment and everything that happened after that. Did that happen before? I do believe it happened before he made this video. Maybe it happened after. I don't know. I'm too lazy to go and find out. But it proves you wrong. Because what did that little girl do? What is the context for that little girl that did a music video with the guy where he portrayed the black guy as someone that was like going to do something with her and stuff. So yeah, you're wrong. But was this something you could have figured out here? Like, yes. Like, Gokanaru is not going to make an 8-hour video, right? So yeah.
Pure bullying.
Driving a car with a Minecraft.
Okay, so now he's playing the card of Leafy doing messed up stuff, and I do believe that Gokanaru also said like, yeah, that is messed up. So not really a good argument here, because he already made this argument. I do really dislike that the picture of that guy in the, like, that's so stupid. You do not look like the guy.
Logo in the corner.
Even when you're wearing the mask, you do not look like it, but it's so stupid.
His fucking teeth.
Yeah, Leafy is a stupid guy, annoying guy.
Nah,
yeah,
fuck that.
agreed.
I'm not gonna be talking about the kid today. Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
If you can't see the difference in that, then you're lost cause. And as Ethan
There is a difference between that, sure. But you're a lost cause if you don't, like, I think everyone can see the difference between those things. But again, reality has proven that Ethan also makes fun of a little girl that is doing a music video. So, but I just don't know if that happened before you made this video. Regardless, he was called out for something and he still did that. So if it came after, it's pretty messed up, because people were already, Gokanaru already said like, dude, don't do this, and he did it. So I'm assuming that it happened even before. But it could have happened after, but it doesn't make Ethan look any better, right? So.
said, I think this is a good example of how people are just grasping at straws.
Now, after this whole debacle,
I wouldn't call it grasping at straws. It is a 14-year-old. You are making fun of a 14-year-old. And then it's not just your age, because if Ethan only had 10 subscribers, AB, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But he has a lot of subscribers, so it makes it a bit more messed up to target a 14-year-old.
Ethan immediately went into damage control. He professed his love to Pyrocynical. He said Leafy was a scumbag for releasing his DMs, and, you know, that was basically the half-assed apology that we got.
Ethan went into damage control after the situation. I don't think that's a bad thing. Either way, if he's being
Owning up to it is not necessarily damage control, so I do think that's typically a bad thing.
sincere, or if it's just a business move. I mean, he does not owe.
Sincere or a business move. Owning up to something, learning, growing, business move. AB does not see the difference. It's all good.
Anything to Pyro. They're not friends. If he's allowed to have his opinion about not.
Yeah, Ethan uses that friend word very loosely, right? It doesn't actually mean that you're a friend of his.
I liking someone. Just as so many of you who like the video Vigilante didn't like Ethan. You guys are entitled to think that way.
He's criticizing Ethan, but he also thinks Ethan was really funny, and he thinks his quality of the content has gone down. So labeling it as Gokanaru just dislikes Ethan is kind of lame.
You know, in retrospect, I can't even imagine how gleeful you must have been when that content cop was released. Well, wait a minute. You helped iDubbbz create some of the points for that.
Yeah, he really hates all those people that worked on the content cop, the last one, right? So I think we can speed it up, because it's just not that good. But let's see.
That video. Well, look at that, Ethan. You ended up getting what you wanted. You got to bash somebody through the mouth of another.
I mean, yeah, he wasn't trying to hide it. He was in the video. He was in the content cop.
He wasn't trying to hide it. He was in the video. But did Gokanaru claim that he was hiding it? Do you think Gokanaru doesn't realize that if you don't want people to know that you're in the video, that you should not be in the video? which we can see. He's in the video. It's in the clip. You're saying, well, he's not hiding it because he's in the video. So you're not responding to an actual argument, which is not surprising.
So later on, he talked about it on the podcast. He brought it up again.
My first question for you is, do you remember there was this one YouTuber, he was really big. Do you remember Leafy is here?
Is that the guy who looks like a lesbian?
And I know I said that already, but I just want to reiterate why this whole situation started. And maybe being repetitive, but it's important.
So you're going to defend everything, okay?
To remember why Ethan did this. You know, it may have not been the smartest move business-wise. At the end of the day, if you guys just claim...
Is that the only thing you're thinking of, like business-wise? If something is a smart move business-wise?
He's just a business guy, like he's all business, and he's manipulative.
Kind of teaches us something about you.
It wasn't the smartest move. And Ethan...
You're only looking at it from the business, the money perspective?
He took a stand. It's one of the reasons I love him. The situation
I love
is
him.
one of the reasons why I like it. Why many believe he's the moral voice of YouTube. Not
Moral voice of YouTube. Moral voice of YouTube. For making fun of cringe content that everyone agrees is like cringe. Like the reaction videos he made about stuff, it was just cringe content, and he was making fun of cringe content and social justice warriors and making fun of himself by doing weird faces. Like, dude, he's the moral voice of YouTube?
that he's a saying, not that he's always right, not that his opinion's always right, not these...
This, if you say this, it's probably a good idea to include some critique in the video. Let's see if there's any critique.
He's a genius. He's a human. He makes mistakes. But I believe if he tries his best to stand up for people, and he calls out the bullshit.
Interesting, like looking at it from like now, right? So that was really bad, AB.
Okay, so Ethan,
So I'm hoping
let's
that
be clear. You
it gets
weren't
better.
really friends with Leafy.
Because I didn't fully agree with everything the guy said.
Talked in the
Let's
DMs,
see.
you bashed Pyro together, but really you weren't friends.
So that kind of...
Kind of a backstabber. You didn't really show us any receipts showing that he was not a backstabber. Like, he's a backstabber. He will call you a friend. Behind your back, he will talk shit about you. Those things have been shown in that video. You're not contradicting those things.
It's most of the first chapter. Am I right? I mean, am I missing something? Yeah, they weren't really friends, but you stated that your problem was not with Ethan calling him out, but the problem was that Ethan claimed that him and Leafy were friends.
You think this is an own? You claim that Ethan claimed that he is a friend of the guy. Honestly, the fact that you even took the time to put an animation here of the guy's face when you're not even willing to show your face in this video, it's kind of ironic here.
So when John Tron gets in trouble for the debate with Destiny, where he said some controversial thing,
I would love it if you would somehow find a way to defend the white supremacist talking points. Let's go.
kept quiet about it.
This situation is covered in a later chapter, but just quickly, I just want to state, it is really, really hard for Ethan to defend John Tron in that situation. It would...
So are you responding to the fact that he made fun of the friend that paid them money so they could make a living, like they could pay rent, do some editing for him, help them, on their way, and that he was considered a friend and they considered him a friend, but then during the podcast he kept on pushing when he was like really uncomfortable because he kind of regrets having said those white supremacist talking points out loud while talking to Destiny. Clearly at that point he was really convinced that it was such a good logical thing to say, rational thing to say. He did really believe in those things. Ethan can't defend it. Sure, Ethan can't defend it. Do you have to invite the guy and then make fun of that guy kind of on your podcast? That's kind of not nice. But screw that guy, I don't care. Still not a good argument from you.
basically be career suicide.
What's the problem with young black males?
You absolute moron. Oh my god, AB is stupid. Oh, it's going downhill from now. You actually think that Gokanaru was expecting Ethan to defend the white supremacist talking points? Holy moly. That is so
They commit
stupid.
disproportionate amount of crime in the country, and
Why do
mostly
you think they
against each other.
commit? Why do you think
And then you're like, oh, let me show you how messed up is the stuff
they
that he
commit
said.
disproportionate amount of crime?
Well, we can go into that forever.
That was already made clear
really wanna
by
go into it.
Gokanaru. So
I've liked John
showing
Tron
something that was already shown is kind of lame.
in the past. I've seen his videos here and there. I'm not a big fan, but I've seen his videos. I've always liked him. He seemed like a nice guy. But
Yeah, I guess
After
Okay,
seeing this
fine.
video, you can't see my teeth, but I'm like, ugh.
Back to my question that I
Okay.
keep trying to get an answer. I just don't understand why it's so bad if white people become a minority. Why is that such a
Destiny, back when, back when a lot of people liked him. But yeah.
horrible thing?
And nobody wants to become.
By the way, just so you know that Destiny, but that statement came after this, so I'm not going
A
to
minority in
reference
their
it.
own country, man.
Why?
No,
Why does it matter? I don't consider myself
because
a minority.
So just to tap into this one, minority in your own country would be someone that is mixed, would be considered a minority, not like would be considered white replacement. What is it? The great replacement, right? If they marry, even if they don't marry, if they have kids with white people and those kids are not completely white, they're kind of reducing the whiteness of the Tim. Because if you're smart, you will not associate with someone that has white supremacist ideology in their brain. And you would laugh at them and say, you're half a minority.
I'm an
dude."
American, and everyone around me is an American. Why does it matter if they're white or brown or black?
well, that's not. I don't think that's how. I don't know.
He was trying to put it nicely.
Now, around the same time, PewDiePie gets in trouble for some bullshit, complete, horseshit. And
There is valid criticism for that as well. Like, even if you can get that to work, like, is that what you want to put on it? There's enough other stuff you could put on that sign, right? But you chose this, kind of messed up.
Ethan, you vehemently support PewDiePie, and you should because you're his friend. And because he's right, but also because you're his friend, You should always support your friends when they have more subs than you in public.
Disagree with being right being always okay. No. That statement should not have been... He shouldn't have asked for that statement to be on the sign. There's enough messed up statements that you could put there that are not targeted at, a specific group of
He's
people.
on your side.
See, there's a big difference in these situations. You're comparing apples to oranges. There's a very big difference. It's not just
Let's see. Let's
about
go.
subs. It's not just about subs and public opinion. I think that's so clear. In one situation, you got someone going on a racist rant for 2 hours. Someone that is
Okay.
known to be associated with Ethan. There's no defending that. It wasn't just one thing said that was a slip up. In PewDiePie's situation, it was a joke. It was one joke. And Ethan, being PewDiePie's friend, defended him and said, no,
It does the N-word thing from PewDiePie comes up later as well, right? So okay.
PewDiePie's not racist. I'm Jewish, and I do not believe that he is racist, which also I believe he should be commended on.
It's a joke. He's not serious. There's a big difference, guys. Context matters. As a Jewish person, I'm not offended.
Flash forward. PewDiePie's in hot.
So let him make his argument, AB, before you respond to the midsection of the argument.
Water, man. He says the N-word.
What a fucking nigger.
Yeah, he dropped the N-bomb, and he dropped it pretty hard.
When I first heard about the situation, as
Okay, let's see if he has the nuanced take that I shared with you at
it
the
was playing
beginning.
out, I was kind of disappointed in Ethan because I'm like, Ethan, you've used this word before too. I didn't hear PewDiePie's use of it, but I know Ethan had used it in the podcast with iDubbbz. But upon further
In a very bad way.
looking into it and getting the
Upon further this, I vaguely remember what he said when I watched this today when I was walking the dog. Let's see.
context of both situations,
It's the context, guys. Ethan got saved by the context. N-word compilation of like 3.5 minutes. He got saved by the context. Let's go.
Context matters.
I could see the difference. Now, I'm not saying it was right, but I could see from Ethan's point of
Not saying it was right, but I'm going to try to justify it by looking at it from his perspective.
view, what he was trying to convey. For
What he was trying to convey by saying the N-word constantly, and also with the F-word, combining the two constantly. Ian even saying like, dude. So he was saying it. So, dude, you cannot convince me that Ethan was trying to make a point. He was just trying to show people like, yeah, I agree with the argument that Ian has made, and now I can use it as much as I want because you can't do anything to me. It's like Cartman that got, Tourette's, which is ironic. That episode.
one, he just defended PewDiePie. He defended PewDiePie with the whole Wall Street Journal situation. Okay, he went on a limb, he made a video. He said, I stand with PewDiePie, and he's not a racist.
Is AB capable of explaining why Ethan's use of the N-word on the tier list, it's like not the lowest thing, it's like PewDiePie at the bottom, and then comes Ethan, and then comes Ian, right?
And then shortly after, he drops the N-word.
Right? Way too long. Let's
With a
listen.
hard R. The way that PewDiePie used the N-word in that stream was very derogatory. And I'm not saying PewDiePie's a racist. I'm just saying that it came off
So yeah, he did say it in a very derogatory way. But Ethan is not that far from it because he's just using it because he thinks it's fun to be able to use it.
In a very derogatory way. He was calling someone.
If you are... I'm not black. You're not black. But if I can imagine a black person hearing Ethan say it and realizing, and I think I've seen Sean the Black, funny how it's in his name of his YouTube channel, watching that compilation. I think he's really pissed off of that compilation, and I still expecting Ethan to own up to it, and if you really own up to it, you will say like, yeah, I was not trying to make a point anymore. I was just trying to be funny at the cost of people that would be hurt with me constantly saying those words. And Jack's Films was just sitting there, I think.
And the way it was said was not right. Now, in Ethan's situation,
So not right. PewDiePie not right. F tier.
Ethan was on the podcast with iDubbbz, and he was discussing with iDubbbz.
He's going to use that as a defense. He's trying to... So AB is too stupid to realize what Ethan was actually doing. Let's hear.
Use of the N-word. Okay, and iDubbbz has explained many times why he
the argument
uses the N-word. And agree or disagree, his intent is not one of racism.
Ian disagrees now, but yeah, that happened after he made this video. But it's a stupid video from Ian. It really shows that he does not have any... At that point in his life, he did not have a single black friend, probably.
Are very fucking stupid to hold the word nigger at this colossally high standard.
God, he was so stupid. And it is weird for an adult, because he looks like an adult here, to not realize how stupid this video was. Hey, I have that thing from Amazon. I have the same thing. He used it for his computer. Interesting. Yeah, I use it for soldering and stuff. Interesting. Yeah, I have a better thing for my computer, but that is interesting.
Whereas every other slur, that can be used in a comedic sense.
Ian showing that he does not understand the difference between slurs. So yeah, other slurs can be really hurtful as well. There are differences, though.
Or editorial sense, but not this one, because that one has history. Well, guess...
He says these ones have history as well.
What fucking retards? All the other ones have history too. Either.
Yeah, all the other ones have history too. So, it's still messed up to use slurs. There's no need to use slurs, right? In general. But yeah, there will be more... There's a higher risk of getting cancelled when you use that specific word. I guess there's a difference in the history, and also the other aspect here is like it's a large group, right? That would be targeted with that slur. I'm not saying that the size of the group is like the one thing that makes it different. Just such a stupid thing to say. I understand where he's coming from. But imagine making this video. Imagine thinking, you know what? I'm going to make a video and defend the fact that I should be able to just use that word freely as much. You can, officially. Sure, yeah, you could get cancelled. And you could lose your job and stuff like that. Yeah, that is a risk. That is true. That is the freedom that, you know, I guess companies have. To say, hey, that's messed up. Let's listen in. I want to hear AB. I'm kind of tired about this topic.
All of them are okay, or none of them are okay. Have you or your friends ever said a word so frequently that it's lost a lot of the initial punch that it had?
So, what he is saying now, I want you to compare that. Like, imagine friends calling each other N-word even though they're not black, right? Has that happened among friend groups? Not in mine. But... yeah, it might have. I don't know. You know, the old songs from Eminem, did they include the word? I don't know. I'm not going to research it. I'm familiar with some of his old songs. I don't think he used it. Big Punisher used it, right? He's not black. So there's an entire category of people that are not black that use it in rap music as well. Yeah. But like, what Ian is talking about here is not what Ethan is doing. Ethan is just saying it because he thinks it's fun to be able to say it without any consequences.
And eventually it just lost all meaning. And
Because Ethan was not... He didn't lose his monetization. He didn't lose his sponsors. He didn't really get cancelled, right? People just called him a hypocrite for making a big deal out of what PewDiePie said. So PewDiePie, important context is that it did come out of his mouth as a reflex or something. Because probably when he doesn't stream games, he's not holding it back. So that muscle is not there, not developed.
entirely. So all of you people out there who hold these words in such high esteem, you are giving it the power that you so desperately want it to not have.
There's a lot of people that use that word towards black people in a very derogatory way. So, but at least Ian knows now that this was stupid.
People are really just trying to make up for all of the torment that we've inflicted on black people. Well, keep at your crusade. I'm going to continue to act like we're normal human beings.
Now, if you want to say that you don't agree with that, it's still wrong. You're completely okay to say that. I see where he's coming from, but I myself don't think that the way Idols use it is right. I digress. Ethan was asking Idols about his use of the word.
I need to slow it down, unfortunately. Let's see. I need to walk the dog.
And yes, Ethan used the word, but Ethan was assuming that the audience knew the context of what was being said. He wasn't calling anyone that word. Now, again, Ethan shouldn't have used the word. I agree.
Not only he shouldn't have used the word, you're completely missing the fact that he was using it to be funny. Like, you're completely downplaying the reasoning behind him using the word.
You shouldn't have not used the word, but I think he didn't look at it as him being a hypocrite because of the way that it was being said, the context.
You're very...
So that's kind of what I said, but like, you're quite literally downplaying. Should I use the word literally here? But you are downplaying how bad it is for Ethan to have said it so many times, just to be edgy, like super, super stupid.
Anti-PC, I would describe you as. Where on YouTube is a space that's very caters to like Disney-esque characters.
Sure, yeah.
They love them.
Funny how it didn't impact him in any way, right? The monetization and like the brands working with him, it was totally fun.
And in a time where being PC is...
Interesting, right? How that word was forbidden, but you could say it apparently and still be a big content creator and get the CEO of YouTube to visit your podcast.
It's so hard to be un-PC. Ian's the kind of guy who his...
Did that happen after he said the N-word? I do believe so. I'm not going to check. I do believe so.
Slogan is nigger faggot. And I'm not going to get in trouble because I'm just quoting him. Right.
He's like, okay, that's my out, so I can say it. Very stupid.
But like, how do you break that down for me? Like,
Well, okay, well...
This is the one place where he's actually saying, I'm quoting someone, still makes it really stupid. But the funny thing is you can see Ian being uncomfortable in how easy it is for Ethan to do it. And Ian is like, oh shit. Like, this dude is kind of like crazy.
Just, I don't make them myself. I just, I can get away with it because someone else said it, right?
Right.
Ian, you can say it because someone else said
nigger faggot.
An unfortunate gentleman who's...
So there was a part where Ian said, like, you're really throwing it out very easily or something.
Kickstarter I made fun of.
Oh.
And here Ian does the same thing, but Ethan a lot of times said it and was not constantly referencing to what, like, one time this guy said this to me, and then you say it 50 times, but you're not going to say 50 times that the guy said it to you. So, like, you know what Ethan is doing. You're being dumb. You're acting very dumb.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
So it's almost like you're not even the racist. You're just like, this guy happened to say it, and I'm just living his memory.
He's making a
You're such an asshole.
vlog
Not Ethan, AD,
directed toward
you.
me, and he opens it up with something like, "You mother
And here Ian is like, all right, I can do it. If I do it in this way, I can say it.
fucking motherfucking nigger faggot."
Oh.
No way.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
No way. Hila's so happy.
That's a wonderful backstory because I feel like you get a lot of heat for saying that.
Right.
No pushback from Hila at all.
But it's actually a wonderful little callback.
Now, if you want to say he's stupid for thinking that, that's okay, but I don't think it was hypocrisy. If he thought for
Tier list, maybe you could, like, I get saying PewDiePie's was worse. He was using it derogatory. Ethan is right up there. Like, it's just one level less bad. But then you could say, well, PewDiePie, he kind of let it out like a fart, which it's not. It's not a fart. So, and he was streaming, like if he was really thinking a bit more. But still, yeah, he definitely used it as a derogatory term. But Ethan is like quite happy saying the word, which Ian calls out as well during that podcast, which you're leaving out. So yeah.
Minute that people were going to misinterpret it or misinterpret his response. He wouldn't have said it.
No, there is no misinterpretation of what Ethan and how Ethan had used it. Gokanaru did not provide that much context on why Ethan was using it. Doesn't matter. He's expecting at least some intelligence from the viewer.
From a business standpoint, he wouldn't be that stupid. I think we could all agree.
From a business, again, he's looking at it from the business standpoint.
He assumed that the audience would understand the context of both situations and wouldn't concern him.
He assumed that the audience will understand. Yeah, you're playing defense for him saying the N-word.
And then
you're saying like, I'm not saying it was good for him to do it, but like, yeah, that is the context. There is context, so that kind of makes it not too bad.
When they didn't, and he got all the backlash, that's what sent him on that drunken rant. That's why he was so flustered. That's why he was so frustrated. He's human. It happens. It's a lot.
You say it so many times that they can create like a 3.5 minute compilation of you saying the N-word and combining it with the F-word.
Live stream. I guarantee you, anyone goes live stream, has 100 podcasts, they're going to say some shit.
Wow. Well, if anyone is playing a game, they might say some shit. Right? So you can run the same defense for PewDiePie now. Because he's streaming a game, and normally he's not streaming a game. He's just playing a game, and you might say those things. Nobody's hearing it. There are no consequences. You don't actually think that person is even black or whatever, and it just feels good to use that word, whatever. You could play defense for PewDiePie if you approach it in the same way you're approaching it now, which is a really bad argument.
If we're just cherry picking the worst moments, you're going to see something out of...
It's not. It's a compilation. It's a compilation. He said it so many times. Gokanaru's video made it very clear by showing how often Ethan said it, and now you're pretending as if he just said it once. He kept on saying it and laughing. He was really enjoying the fact that he could say it because he had the card somehow, because he was referencing someone else saying it.
How many hours?
Which is a really dumb thing to say, and you're not calling that out, which is kind of to be expected from you.
Live stream, there's barely nothing on him. Straws, dude.
So nothing good. Still.
Got him!
Ethan, why'd you do this? Because it's a hot topic, and you want the public to know that your views are rock solid. Do you know why I know this? It's because you're a disingenuous, opportunistic person who is not afraid to ride the wave of hate, so long as it stays away from you.
Doesn't that kind of contradict the first chapter as well? Because...
No. I'm going to try to guess what he is thinking.
Opportunistic person who is not afraid to ride the wave of hate, so long as it stays away from you.
You're an opportunistic person who is willing to ride the wave as long as the hate is not directed towards you. Yeah, he jumps on it. He is also more than happy to make fun of people when other people are also making fun of people. He's definitely not good in handling critique, which could be seen like this. Abdullah didn't see probably here at this point, but like Ethan's reaction to the video from Gokanaru was really bad. And as his reaction to all the critique that he has been given is really, really, really bad. The only way to get him to process critique is by doing a debate. We've seen how unhinged he was in his debate with Hassan, but there's a reason why Ethan agreed to say the IDF is a terrorist organization. Because he knew he's not going to win that one. So he's like, let me just give him that one. Debating that one is just he's going to annihilate me. Like how IDF has annihilated Gaza.
Doesn't that kind of contradict the first chapter as well? Because...
Okay, I want to hear how it contradicts the first chapter because I don't see it. Let's see.
The situation with Leafy put Ethan right in the middle of the controversy.
The situation with Leafy.
With one of the biggest commentary channels on the internet.
Ethan's goal in this was not to stop
first chapter as well, because that situation with Leafy put Ethan right in the middle of the controversy.
That situation with Leafy put Ethan in the middle of the controversy. So you're not riding the hate train. You're riding the hate train if it's targeted at other people, at the cost of other people. But you're not willing to do that when it's targeted at you. So you're claiming it's contradicting the first chapter. So... he made fun of him. He joined the hate train He jumped on the hate train that was targeted at him. He made fun of himself. That is how it would be contradicting the first chapter, so.
One of the biggest commentary channels on the internet.
Ethan's goal in this
Previously claimed that Ethan called out Leafy just to start drama. Okay.
was not to stop Leafy from bullying kids.
Yeah, it's just shitting on another creator. He doesn't really care.
It was to stir the pot.
You could say like, yeah, but the guy made so horrible videos, and then it's like, yeah, but he showed receipt that Ethan is doing this stuff as well. Maybe not to that degree. It doesn't have to be that degree, AB. Do you understand that it doesn't have to be the same degree?
To get some drama going, to come out as the hero.
If he truly
God, that's lame. So what is that animation? It's saying like he's being a hypocrite? That's how we use it for Ethan. You're just putting an animation of him there, making a sound? Okay.
really wanted to stay away, that was very stupid of him.
I really don't understand how you
got
can
called out
see
for
it.
this one, big time, because people saw you got a little too cocky, you got a little too confident.
H3H3 uploaded this podcast to YouTube, and it has over 28,000 dislikes on his most recent podcast.
People agreeing that he is being a hypocrite. Like, lots of people agreed because he was being a hypocrite, okay? And you're saying he was not?
Almost more dislikes than likes on this thing.
They think that Ethan, H3H3, is being a hypocrite because on his podcast, he said the N-word too.
Yeah, that's being a hypocrite. If you're calling out... If you're on the tier list of how bad it is, do I have to explain this? He's one level above. He's basically one level above of how PewDiePie used it.
We can be free.
So if you call it out once, and that's it, okay. But like if he's spending a lot of time... My puppy is here. If you're spending a lot of time... Who is my baby? Look, my dog is cuter than Hassan's dog, and he needs to be walked. He's so cute. Look at him. Look at him. Meow. Dog does not say meow. He's so cute. He's so big. He grows so fast. He's 1 year old. He's 1 year old. He likes to dance. All right. I need to finish this.
Yeah. But you have Keemstar and Scares who are like, H3's a hypocrite because he said nigger on his podcast.
So when people are calling this mofo out for being a hypocrite because he says the N-word in his podcast, and he's like referring to that, and now he finds another excuse to say it again because he knows he's pissing some people off by saying it. But he also realizes that by saying it, some people are like, fuck yeah. I love saying it. So this kind of... You're showing this to make a point?
You call
Interesting.
yourself a news source. Like, get fucking real. I have nothing to apologize for.
Most of this chapter pertains to the controversy brought up in the previous chapter. Why is there a surprised Pikachu animation face there? I don't get it. You guys are not seeing this stupid thing. It's really not worth it. It's the same thing, I think, all the time. It's really stupid.
Getting more shit than H3's a hypocrite. I didn't watch the podcast, but this guy says he's a hypocrite, and I didn't have any content today, so I'm going to post it.
You're showing a self-own of Ethan here, not realizing it's a self-own, which is funny because you're thereby doing a self-own. It's like self-own inception here. It's crazy.
Video, and I don't really care about what it actually means. I'm news, but I don't actually look at things beyond surface value. I'm Keemstar. I make news for 12-year-olds. Keemstar and Scarce made these...
Yeah, he was being a hypocrite.
Fucking these plebeian videos without even watching my podcast.
Yes. Oh, we got cities, we got beers, we got the boys. What more could you ask for? The pinnacle of moral authority.
Gokanaru calls Ethan the pinnacle of moral authority.
Okay, and you just showed a clip where Ethan felt the need to say the N-word again.
But Ethan himself has claimed that he's just a YouTuber giving his views many times.
That's his defense? That's what you're using as his defense, so he can say messed up shit? Okay.
Like such as the video where he was responding to...
When he is calling out other people, that is the link to him being a moral authority, right? Do you not understand that? If Ethan was doing this shit and not calling other people out, Gokanaru would not say you're claiming to be the moral authority. So yeah, that went above your
Casey
head.
Neistat.
Don't fucking listen to me. Don't listen to Casey. I'm just a YouTuber. How does that qualify me to tell you who to vote for? Who to fucking elect as president?
Wow, you really don't get it. You really don't get it.
I literally go to the grocery stores with 200 shirts on, and you're looking to me for advice on who to vote for?
That's kind of funny. Yes, I will admit, every now and then he was funny.
Yeah, there have got to be better people out here to advise you on that.
He's talking about telling people who to vote for, but calling other people out for using the N-word when he used it many, many times. And also in a bad way. Doesn't have to be as bad as what is it, PewDiePie. I've not watched a single video of PewDiePie because I'm not 3 years old. So
time to have a mental breakdown on live stream.
Oh, Ethan's a hypocrite. Fuck off. That unsubscribe button is right down.
Because Ethan was trying to get, like, he wants members that agree with that stuff, that think it's cool to say that stuff, because that's easy content. He's not that clever with his jokes to fill a podcast with, like, clever remarks. Like, it's just not there. So if he can just be cringe and edgy and edgelord, like, that's kind of easy.
There. Click it and go subscribe to Keemstar, hit that bell, and enjoy the ride. And
so if you criticize me, you need,
3 years when you grow up, come back here, because I'll be waiting.
So when you grow up, you realize that something that he now realizes that he shouldn't do anymore because he's not doing it anymore. Interesting. 3 years later, he realizes that he's not the adult. Really.
H3H3 production has always been about logical. We break it down and we think about it.
Like I said before, this was in response to all the hate he was getting on the previous video. I think he didn't expect...
In his response, he used the N-word, you dumbass.
So many people to not understand the difference in context between when he said it and when PewDiePie said that.
Okay, you are in fact very low IQ. I mean, I have to admit, you are an adult here. You're above 20 years old. It's crazy to me that you
so I'm
don't
sure
get
he's
it.
frustrated. And I wouldn't say it's a mental breakdown. I would say that that's a real...
He's used the N-word in his reaction to people complaining that he's being a hypocrite because he's been using the N-word.
Oh shit, there was some real emotion. He wasn't politicking. He was pissed off and...
He used the N-word and get the fuck out of
with
here.
people and he had a few drinks and he just gave his opinion. That's why...
He just had a few drinks and felt the need to say the N-word again. So while you are saying that it's maybe not cool of him doing that, you're not really calling him out. You're just defending
People
him.
love him. It's real. That's what the podcast is. We're not...
It's just real. Saying the N-word was real, guys.
Watching it. It's not a political podcast. We're not watching Ben Shapiro.
You shouldn't expect the N-word in a political podcast, but all other types of podcasts are allowed to use the N-word. It's kind
watching
of
Ethan
fine.
Klein, the guy who fucking points his double chins. He's very ahead of me.
So double chin makes it okay to say the N-word? Interesting.
And showing off his double chins and his fucking...
So if you show double chin, so if I show a double chin, it's okay for me to use the
stomach
N-word.
fat. We're not watching...
If I show stomach fat, it's okay for me to use the... Okay,
Ethan for political stuff. If he wants to give his take on...
Did Gokanaru complain about Ethan saying that, hey, Casey Neistat, like, show the clip. Like, what are you responding to now? You're saying that Gokanaru was expecting Ethan to say what?
Political stuff, that's fine. A bunch of my friends, when we sit around and talk, we talk about politics. We know what the fuck we're talking about. That's why people love him. The podcast is just hanging out, chilling with the boys, chilling with your homies. We're not watching him to learn shit.
Yeah, there is a parasocial relationship there. Now, especially, it's really strong because he's also your boss, right?
About fucking politics. There's a lot of shit he says that is wrong.
He's talking a lot about politics.
Wrong, I agree, but that's okay. I don't hate him for it. I say a lot of shit that's wrong. I would understand if he's a political commentator. We're not watching him to learn shit about fucking politics. There's a lot of shit he says that is wrong. I agree, but that's okay. I don't.
A lot of shit that he says is wrong, and I don't care. Okay, interesting.
I don't hate him for it. I say a lot of shit that's wrong.
True.
I would understand if he's a political commentator because those political commentators, they say one wrong thing and they're called out. Their validity.
He is being, like, this is after the fact, right? But he is now kind of being a political commentator that is really wrong, and he's being called out, and he cannot handle the critique. Okay.
Of anything that they say.
But again, like, AB, this is after the fact.
After is pretty much questioned. That's why that's a rough game, politics. Ethan's no politician. He gives his take on things. Well, if he's not a politician, then he shouldn't say anything. That's just stupid, dude. That's just stupid. That's just...
If he's not a politician, he should... That's not a point that Gokanaru made.
We even power in the higher-ups. It's okay to talk about things being wrong because that at least opens up some dialogue about it.
I can disagree.
You're still talking about the N-word. Dialogue.
Agree with Casey without hating him. And that's kind of the center of what I'm talking about here, is that We need to be able to discuss things without everybody losing their fucking mind and hating each other.
And then pretty much Keemstar carries on the rest of this point, and Keemstar gives his whole little Twitter rant where he does voices and goes like this and acts very feminine.
The quote from Keemstar was completely on point here.
Am I saying that you're being a hypocrite?
Yeah, it was good. The Keemstar are very based here.
No, I am not. I am saying that people are mad at you and they're disliking your podcast because they are claiming that you are a hypocrite. I call myself a news source because I report the news.
Yeah, news about, like Drama Alert, he's doing news about shitty content, so yeah.
And this is the news.
That is the news.
People are calling you a hypocrite.
That is exactly what people were saying.
This is a fucking nearly 40-year-old man who thrives on making videos about Jake Paul.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter.
Bro, dude.
Can still call you out for shitty behavior.
Jake Paul.
People can still, yeah, again, hypocrites.
Jake Paul. Jake Paul.
Time out. The AV superhero says, let's see.
Let me...
And then puts Gokanaru's face. Interesting, let's see. You better have a good point once, at least in this video, AB.
Please slow it down for you. Let me actually compare the amount of...
You're going to explain it to us because we're too dumb to understand.
Jake Paul videos on one channel to the other.
Okay. 5 videos come up when you search Jake Paul on H3H3's channel. Jake Paul doxes Post Malone, Don't Go VidCon, featuring Logan Paul, an Instagram model. These glasses cured our color blindness. So that was a good video for calling out the color blindness glasses that were fake or something, right? That's how I vaguely remember it. 16 million views. Holy shit, man. Okay, so what's your point? But he has made fun of Jake Paul as well. But he's saying, this guy is saying only 5 times and it's not really making fun of him. Jake Paul ruins Los Angeles. No, he's actually criticizing the guy. Sit down, Jake Paul. It's every day, bro.
3.
Okay. Viner Invasion, Logan Paul, Odyssey.
4, 5.
What do you mean 5 videos? Like, that's more than 5 videos, dude.
That's all, folks.
What? He made fun of him for being a 40-year-old that talks about Jake Paul. While he is talking about Jake Paul, you searching in H3 main channel doesn't include all the times he talked about Jake Paul on the podcast. I would assume that he did that as well. So yeah, that was a valid point from Keemstar, and you're trying to convince us of something that is not there. Let's take a look at Keemstar's channel. So this is like the easy way of trying to combat critique, right? So Ethan is upset with that person, does some stupid stuff, and that person is right. Okay, but let's look at that person being a horrible person. It's like the easiest thing you can do, right?
Jake Paul. Jake Paul. Jake Paul.
Yeah, he did. It's a cell phone. Did Keemstar say, no, Ethan, I do not make content about Jake Paul. You are the one doing that. He did not say that, right, AB? He did not say that. He knows he makes a lot of content about Jake Paul. That's the type of news that he is covering. It's shitty. I don't care about it. I don't like Keemstar. But, like, he did not say that he does not make content about Jake Paul. So, comparing then how many videos there are on his channel compared to Ethan, like, his point still stands. If you could not find a single video where Ethan was, like, covering Jake Paul, like, also, it doesn't matter whether he's making fun of or collaborating with or whatever, like, Jake Paul is like, you don't touch Jake Paul, content-wise. And he's saying Keemstar is doing it as a 40-year-old, and Ethan is doing it as a 36-year-old. So the point still stands. Very lame.
Oh my god.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, but you made more content. I just randomly stopped because it kept going. Yeah, did he deny making content about Jake Paul? Ethan makes slop content as well. He reacts to slop content as well. Like, the podcast is like completely built around the idea of reacting to dumbass stuff, which will be Jake Paul occasionally.
And when you're criticized, what do? Blame somebody else.
Basically, you said anybody criticizing you and calling you a hypocrite is a 12-year-old. So you could delegitimize anybody's argument. Oh, they're just little kids. I'm right and they're wrong because they're little kids. And then you try to manipulate even more by saying, the only reason why I'm getting hate is because Scarce and Keemstar. And then you use a Leafy line. Keemstar's just a 40-year-old who makes Jake Paul videos.
That is true. That's a good point.
If you guys watched my previous video, I made a point about the cunt laugh. I will tell you this, Keemstar is the king of the cunt laugh. He is the pioneer, he is the original cunt laugh. Like, this
I have no idea what that word is.
guy should have trademarked it a long time.
So you're just going to say that guy is a horrible person or whatever. Like, Gokanaru agrees with you that Keemstar is probably a shitty content creator or person or whatever.
Because, whew, this guy loves using that cunty laugh.
I don't care.
Admit that you're wrong, but you guys won't.
Yeah, Ethan should have apologized there and admitted that he was wrong, that he was being kind of hypocritical. So imagine Ethan says, you know what, looking back at me saying the N-word every 5 seconds, like, yeah, that was kind of messed up. That could have been his reaction. But he got upset that people were telling him that he's hypocritical. And he said, I'm not, which it's false. He was being hypocritical.
Do that, will you? Because you're better than everyone else.
Yeah, there is this feeling of Ethan that he is better than everyone else, that he can do stuff that other people can't do.
You're never wrong.
Let Uncle Star kill again.
Yeah, he's not really a fan of saying he's wrong about anything. Yeah, true. He loves people defending him as well because you got a job for this. So let's
give you another lesson. Let me give you another life lesson right here. Anytime
AB is gonna give us a life lesson. Let's hear.
someone says, "Oh, you think you're better than me?" They're probably.
Anytime someone says you think you're better than me, so if someone is really showing that they think that they are better than you, and you are saying it looks like you think you're better than me, that's me calling out someone that is giving me the impression that they think that they're better than me. Is this your life lesson? Every time someone tells you that you think you're better than them,
fucking idiot. It's a very.
That person is an idiot, even if you are clearly demonstrating that you think you're better than that person. That's one of the dumbest life lessons that I've heard, honestly.
Very insecure statement to make, and
it's an insecure statement. So is it insecure to say you feel like you're better than me? I mean, I wouldn't use that statement that often, but I don't mind if someone uses that statement towards someone that clearly feels like they're better than them. And in some cases, that person will respond and say, yes, I do feel like I'm better than you. So even if that person agrees, confirms, and says, yes, I do feel like I'm better than you, what's wrong with the statement then, AB? Because it's a true statement. And it's not necessarily an indication that that person is insecure. It really depends on the context. You were a fan of context, right?
made by a lot of stupid people. I think Family Guy.
Stupid people.
We talked about one of the episodes.
What, do you think you're better than me? By the way, a huge part of being an idiot is constantly accusing people of thinking they're better than you.
To clarify.
Dude, it's Family Guy, you fucking idiot. Referencing Family Guy is referencing Family Guy in a serious thing, you know, like in this context, is a clear indication that you are an idiot.
I make very clear the point I'm trying to make here. Ethan, the issue here was not that what you were saying was wrong. It's that you were the wrong person to be saying it. You
hypocritical for you to be saying
emphasized heavily that he was live streaming when he said it, and that he sounded like he was very comfortable using it. And then
he was very comfortable using it, yeah.
And there's footage, man, of you being super comfortable saying it on a
extremely comfortable saying it.
Live stream multiple times.
Like 3.5 minute compilation, I think.
Context matters.
Like, you had to have.
And saying context matters is like, oh, I'm downplaying it. I have the card. I have the argument on why I can use it.
Forgotten that clip existed. Otherwise, you'd be a.
Gokanaru isn't the first YouTuber to ignore context. He's not ignoring context, AB. He's not. Oh God, you're so stupid. He's not ignoring the context at all.
Idiot for saying that at all.
It doesn't matter the context that you say it in. It's still racist.
So that is the reason why Ian made that video, content cop video about Tana. She's done more stupid stuff, but she says like, yeah, it's racist by definition. And there is a clip of her saying it to her friends or whatever. So Ian made it, turned it into an entire video, which was super lame. But yeah, people know that context matters, dude.
Doesn't matter the context you say it in, it's still racist.
Okay, so how is Ian responding?
Listen up, teachers of America. If you've ever read aloud Huckleberry Finn to your students, you've engaged in an act of racism.
God, Ian, so matters. So you're using Ian's defense, N-word defense, for the Ethan N-word compilation. Interesting.
Remember how we talked about JonTron? Yeah, well, a whole 8 months after he lost his sponsorship.
The middle section was lame, and you're going to respond to that as well. Let's see.
Oh, you've always been an incredibly generous and gracious friend to us. Thanks, and I genuinely
Like, it was just not interesting, so I would have not expected you, but you're doing the entire video. Okay.
I know, I miss you too. It's been too long. Now that I'm officially, guest number 600,005.
Not that many.
Just kidding.
Did you see that reaction? Like, that signals to me that JonTron wasn't really welcome on the podcast until the dust had blown over completely.
First of all, that's speculation. For sake of argument, let's say it is true. I think it's smart on both ends for Ethan and JonTron for them to wait until the dust blows over. You don't want to come on the podcast.
No, the better content will be when the dust is not. No, disagree. I think waiting until it's like. No. From the white supremacist minority guy's perspective, it is better to do an actual podcast if you're going to talk about that stuff. But he was not really willing to talk about it because he knows that he cannot explain it because it's a white supremacist talking point. But for Ethan to constantly mention it, that is something you typically do when it's still fresh, but it's not fresh. It's like 8 months later. No, I disagree. You have to grab that thing by the tail. You need to, if you can somehow explain it away or apologize. But Johnny Tron was not. Johnny, I'm one of you guys. Please don't. I'm not one of them. I'm not like them. I'm one of you guys. He's helping keep America white. So if he actually had, if it was capable of giving a good apology or whatever, like, yeah, this is your opportunity to do it. And it's better to not wait 8 months. It's better to do it as soon as possible.
No, I'm innocent. Well,
becomes less sincere when you wait 8 months. Like, did you need 8 months to think about this, to realize that you were wrong? Or did you almost instantly find out that you were wrong?
It's still fresh. Because people are still going to fucking hate JonTron. And they're going to...
The fact that people are really upset with you, a lot of people throw and close the door and will say, I will never watch any content of that guy if you wait too long. Some people might think, you know what, you made a mistake, you owned up to it. Like, yeah, so disagree.
Hey, Ethan as well for defending him immediately after. You let people...
It doesn't mean that you're necessarily defending that person if you're just challenging them on their views, right? On that on what they said. And also, doesn't look like he's defending him when he's like constantly bringing it up when he's uncomfortable talking about it. So you're wrong on all levels here. Interesting.
Settle. You let some time pass. This is no new tactic. Anytime there's any PR scandal with any celebrity, they wait to go.
He's the business guy. He's like the smart business guy. I know what to do business-wise.
Maybe a year. Maybe they go to rehab. Whatever it is, they come out.
Rehab to stop thinking like a white supremacist?
And then they address the situation.
Bruce Lee would be ashamed of you, AB.
Which Ethan provided JonTron a platform to give his response. JonTron would have came back.
Like, really? I think Bruce Lee would have think like, I can put words in his mouth. He probably dealt with racism as well. But yeah, what would Bruce Lee think of Ethan?
Too soon, he would have been eaten alive. It would not have been good for his career.
You had an infamous debate.
Holy shit! So after 8.5 months, and after everybody's basically forgot about it, now you give JonTron a platform to defend himself?
Yeah, you're pushing. You're now turning it into a big thing. You keep pressing him for this after 8 months. It's kind of weird. Yeah, really is an indication that you just want to milk it.
Well, I mean, if you and John agreed to do this beforehand for him to discuss it, then that makes sense. That's fine.
It happened.
But that is not what happened. Like, he was clearly uncomfortable. So Ethan clearly just didn't pull any punches and thought, you know what, I'm gonna milk this. Yeah.
How long ago was that now?
I don't keep track. A year or so.
Yeah, a year or so. Dude is just happy to not be associated with it. People are forgetting it.
So this is one of the tactics in this video that I didn't like.
This is one of the tactics in this video that I didn't like.
In a very misleading way to better serve your narrative. And a lot of times...
Oh, they love the word narrative.
It's taken out of context, which is easy to do because you get the one shot of the guest and you get the one shot of each.
Oh, he needs to show the entire 3-hour podcast? Okay, good point. Yeah, good point. Make the video 4.5 hours, yeah.
Ethan, and as long as they're not talking at the same time, it's
wrong here.
Very easy to cut them in a weird, misleading way. A lot, man. You do that.
By the way, like, in hindsight, looking at how good they are at clipping things out of context, right? With Hassan saying, I don't care that women got raped. Like, the entire content cop, or what was it, content nuke or puke, was full of clipped out of context stuff, right? Full of it. That's like their main MO. So
A lot in the John Tron podcast. You do a lot in the Jimmy Lee podcast. Here are just some examples.
if you let's
So if
see.
you're uncomfortable with anything at all,
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and qualify it or anything. You don't have
It's clear showing he doesn't want to talk about it. Gokanaru cuts out the part where Jontron says he wants to address the situation.
to comment at all. I know you moved past it, and it was a really hard time for you.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to know about this, so I just get it out of the way because I haven't talked.
Oh, you're kind of misrepresenting it, right? So he wants to address the situation. He's saying, because Ethan is constantly reminding him of it, like, okay, he's probably referring mostly to Ethan because he keeps on bringing it up. So he says, yeah, I just want to get it out of the way. Why doesn't your summary here mention that he wants to get it out of the way so they don't have to keep talking about it? That's the part that does not jump out to you, right? Exactly. Because that kind of reinforces exactly what Gokanaru was saying. Interesting.
Now, this part right here, I think clearly shows how you were trying to put your own spin on the podcast. I mean,
oh, really? You don't understand how him saying get it out of the way means that he doesn't want to keep on talking about it, right? It doesn't mean like I want to talk about this for the rest of the podcast. So you included a little piece of video that kind of made Gokanaru's point even stronger. That's kind of dumb. That's what I said, right? When you really are convinced of yourself, you've convinced yourself of something, you're like leaning into something, like it's going to be a dumber take.
Look at this. Look how it's portrayed in Gokanaru's video. Look at the actual podcast. You neglect to mention that Ethan asked John Tron if he wants to discuss the situation.
We heard John Tron saying, I want to leave it behind me. All right, so left is Gokanaru's misleading edit, and right is the untampered footage. Let's see.
With anything, you don't have
are you going to show the same thing?
to comment at all.
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and
I don't want to get into this.
nitpick everything I said and qualify it.
You're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all. I know you've moved past it, and it was a really hard time for you.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to know about this, so I just get it out of the way.
Yes! Yes!
So he edited out. I'm sure people. Okay. Let's see.
At all, I know you've moved past it, and it was a really hard time for you.
I want to see the uncut.
Ask John Tron if he wants to discuss the situation.
So if you're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all.
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and qualify it.
You're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all. I know you've moved past it, and it was a really hard time for you.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to know about this, so I just get it out of the way.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah!
Where is the other part? Is that right after this? Okay, I will give you this one. If he edited that part out and he left another part in, because let's go back.
Yeah, minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything I said and qualify it.
You're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all. I know you moved past it, and it was a really hard time.
If he wants to discuss the situation.
So if you're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all.
I don't really want to get into this. It's a minefield of sorts. I'm not going to go back and nitpick everything
I don't want to get into this. I don't want to nitpick. Okay.
I said and qualify it.
You're uncomfortable with anything, you don't have to comment at all. I know you moved past it, and it was a really hard time.
This is the untampered footage.
Time for you.
Yeah, I'm sure people want to know about this, so I just get it out of the way.
Yes!
Yeah, okay. I will give you that the way he edited it, it sounds like he is immediately responding to what Ethan said, but if that is the unaltered footage, that is kind of deceptive. I will give you that. But him saying, I want to get it out of the way, and the number of clips we see where Ethan keeps on pressing, and where he's like clearly uncomfortable, there wouldn't be that many clips of Ethan pushing and him being uncomfortable. And you're ignoring the fact that he says, I want to get it out of the way. Did he get it out of the way? Was that it? Did he quickly address it and then did Ethan stop? Because I'm too tired to go watch that entire podcast, but I don't think so. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that many clips.
Yes! Oh, yeah!
And it was a boring section as well.
Feel that, buddy? I have.
Stubborn viewers who don't want to get off the H3H train. That is so telling. You can't criticize H3.
Exercise the demons. This house is clear.
Let me just say for the record, that
Gokanaru pieces these clips together to make it seem like Jontron tried to immediately cut off Ethan from talking about the situation further. Let's see.
I disagree with a lot of the stuff he said.
I really don't want to get into this. I would like to move on as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just really don't want to get into
for the record, I disagree with a lot of the stuff he said.
Something Ethan said multiple times in the podcast, right?
No. But I still think like if you genuinely feel a certain way, or some people
If Ethan is so evil, why is there a need to manipulate the conversation?
genuinely feel a certain way, the correct way to deal with it is not.
Yeah, I mean, if you edit something and it looks like it's something else than it was, like you're putting two different things together, or you're leaving a middle part out that is important. Like if you're leaving a middle part out, what you're supposed to do is like fade out, fade in. Like fade to black, fade back in. Because then it's clear you're cutting a part out. Because if you're just cutting a part out and the camera is going left and right, it's impossible for us to realize that something was in between. So that would be considered deceptive, especially if something really relevant is said in the middle section.
To like prevent them from saying it.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that.
We should be able to fucking talk about it. Like even if I strongly disagree, and even if I'm like, dude, that's fucked up. But I think that we should still be able to talk about it. I mean, I don't know. It's so tricky. Like
it's tricky. By the way, I'm a comedian. I just want to make people laugh. That's really. I'm not trying to get back into this. I just treat.
Gokanaru, fast forward past Johnson, fast forwarding, saying that people always asking him about the situation, and he wants to put it to bed now, which is like, oh man, stop bringing it up. So you're kind of making a self own
people
here.
with the same respect they give me at the end. I just want to make people laugh. That's really. I'm not trying to get back into this. But people always ask me this. I just put it to bed. I treat my answer really. I just treat.
That's his defense. I treat people with respect as long as they treat me with respect. Great replacement.
People with the same respect they give me.
Fucking idiot.
Damn, I'm good! Can you feel that? Huh? Can you feel it?
God, this is so childish.
Redemption is
of like you
thou shall be saved.
I'm just more interested in like the journey you had of like you went through it. It was some
Clearly, do you want me to go watch the entire podcast to show that Ethan was pushing when the white supremacist, was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore? See if we come to that conclusion or not. I can admit that looked like deceptive editing, assuming that your version is correct. The point can still be valid. Right? Again, there are lots of clips where we can see John Tron being, I don't care. I don't care. John Tron, I think he deserved all the hate that he got until the end of time.
That sucked, obviously,
I
and
don't
a lot
care.
of times passed. And like you feel like you've learned a lot from it, or you're in a better place.
You're making fun of Ethan's hands. But no, dude, he has Tourette's. He addresses it, and I think it's clear to see. You say you watch a lot of podcasts, you can see him playing with his hands a lot. It's part of his Tourette's. My cousin has Tourette's, same thing. He plays with his hands a lot. If you're so
Not really criticizing Ethan, but
adamant
okay.
on calling someone out, you're so critical, like someone has made you so mad that you want to make a video about him, you're entitled to that. But if you're going to be so critical of others, you need to be as critical of yourself in
Okay, go.
the same way. Like making fun of someone's Tourette's or Ela for not speaking good English.
So you're now saying that 10 million IQ connect, like Ela, I do not think she has 10 million IQ. She has said some really dumb stuff, especially lately. Again, this is all after the fact. I don't know how dumb her statements were up to this point. I'm assuming that they were not very intelligent. Saying that she's not high IQ is not making fun of her English. You absolute idiot.
Like that's just bullying, man. Keep it to the facts.
That's bullying? Okay.
I mean, what do you want from Ethan?
That's bullying. Stop being so mean.
Do you want him to say...
This is after she said that she went on a raid in Ramallah, right? In occupied territory. Interesting, because that's 7 years ago.
I stand with you no matter what. What is he fucking...
I don't know. So, yeah, saying someone is low IQ is not saying that they do not speak proper English. No, it's not the same thing.
Optimus Prime, he told John Tron to his face, as a man, I disagree with a bunch of the shit you said.
Curious if he would say certain things about Palestinians.
It's respectful. You want people like that. You don't want a fucking yes man who just say, yes, you're right, you're right, you're right.
No, I think the point is you don't have to keep pressing something. Like Bill Burr, that example shows he's doing the same thing, kind of. He keeps on talking about something because he wants to milk it. He wants to turn it into content. And you're saying you don't want yes man? That's not the point. You can still say in one statement that you don't agree with what he said, and then, hey, it feels like you kind of like are fed up with it being brought up constantly. Do you want to say anything? And then he says his thing, and then, okay, we're gonna park it. That's it. Let's just talk about other stuff because it's just depressing, right? Yeah, it's fucked up. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, okay, man. Let's talk about other shit.
It's going to be coming when Jake Paul, Logan Paul motherfuckers.
So yeah, you're exaggerating. This is like what weak debaters do. They exaggerate. They go to the extremes. So it's like it's that, or it's like putting John Tron's balls in your mouth both at the same time and saying, "Oh, I love your white supremacist talking points." That's the alternative,
Thanks for
right?
God's gift, because you don't have anyone correcting you. They think they could sing and shit because everyone's like, oh yeah, no, yeah. They're surrounded by
Very stupid point
people
here.
that, anyways, go on a tangent now. Let me just regress. At the end of the day, I think this is a good lesson that Ethan is explaining to the audience. It's okay for you to disagree with someone and still be friends with them. You're never going to agree with someone 100% on everything, obviously.
Yeah. So here I would say dumb take. Just disagreeing is one thing. The dude said white supremacist stuff. If you really disagree with that stuff, how can you be friends with that person? So you are looking up to someone that is considering a white supremacist that hasn't really said that he disagrees with all the stuff that he said, right? Like, did he really say, I don't think that America should stay white, North America should stay white? At least he's just probably just referring to North America, right? Would I be friends with? No. So disagreement is one thing. Saying racist shit, it's kind of a deal breaker for me, but not for Abdul.
It's okay to disagree. It's okay to have a dialogue.
When I saw this
I have a dialogue with my white supremacist friends.
podcast, it made me realize that Ethan is the Iago of YouTube. He isn't friends with you unless he has something to gain.
Ethan is the Iago of YouTube. I commend you on your knowledge of Shakespearean literature.
You had to look it up, right? I haven't read Shakespeare. I don't care.
Don't know how to go about this point. I think this is more just an excuse to show that you're educated. Yeah.
It's just an excuse to show that you're educated?
Youngster.
Maybe he's friends like.
Why not admit you had to look it up? Why include this even in? If you're reacting to a video, like, why not just skip the parts that are not worth reacting to?
Leafy friends.
You could say that to me because I'm sure, but no, I'm evaluating his arguments. So I'm looking at the entire video. I could edit stuff out. I'm just being lazy. So maybe he was being lazy. But if you're defending, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not attacking H3 by watching your video. I'm checking if your arguments are valid compared to, like, after actually watching the full video. So it's a different thing. But okay.
Like that kind of friendship. But unless you have something directly to benefit him, you're not friends. Like, seriously, notice how everybody who he openly claims to be his friends, all the friends he includes in his videos are wildly more successful than him.
This is when the hell did Ethan openly claim that him and Ty Lopez are friends? Their whole relationship consists of Ethan bagging on him for his bullshit scams and ads.
He made fun of him, true, because he was a meme. But then he just collaborated with him as well, right? Went to his house and stuff, checked out his cars, and he didn't really make fun of him the second time he talked to him, I think.
It's an ad? Is this some kind of marketing scam on YouTube? They're promoting.
It's a meme. It's a deliberate meme, so he's just leaning into the meme and helping the guy out, actually, kind of.
This crap. She's watching television or something, dude. I'm done with YouTube right now. I'm done with the internet. In fact, what? I'm a lot more proud of you. It's on the fucking television now? Dude, go fuck off, man. Take vacation without your scam money. Stop brassing me, dude.
Because he's opportunistic by nature. I don't even know that I should blame him, but I will, because he is. I mean, I genuinely don't think he has ever collabed with a smaller YouTuber.
All right, so he has collabed with a smaller YouTuber, okay?
Take that how you will. He has no obligation to, but it says something, considering how many friends he has in the...
Like, even Gokanaru shows that he did invite the other guy that was smaller, that made the talking beanie.
Community. But sure, he'll have...
But then he didn't really give him a lot of airtime.
John on the podcast after not talking to him for 8 months. But we all know why that is, because he wanted the fresh scoop. He wanted the juicy details. He wanted John Tron to explain to everybody how he got those fucked up ideas in his head.
I think more of what...
Like, even was not capable of asking the right questions to try to get that out of it. If you put me against John Tron, I would figure out why he had... I would ask, like, hey, were you bullied ever because of your ethnicity when you were smaller? Did you, did you ever get fed up with, like, the stereotypes and, like, blah, blah, blah? And, like, I could dig deep.
He was trying to do, because I think this is what I would do if it was my friend in the situation. I would want him to try...
I would disassociate and not call that person a friend because they said white supremacist stuff. That's first.
Try to explain more of the background of what he was trying to convey, because obviously it came out wrong. If I knew my friend...
There is no good way for that to come out your mouth, you dumbass. To say America should stay white.
This many years, and I didn't think he was racist. I could give more, like...
I didn't think he was racist. You don't want to be the minority group. The what? What group should not be the minority group? The white majority group should not be turned into a minority group? How are you gonna achieve that, wise guy? Hey, Einstein. How are you going to achieve... Dude, it's the great replacement theory. And you're responding and saying, I don't think it's racist. Wow. As an Arab, you're saying it's not... The great replacement theory is not racist, you're saying, as an Arab. Interesting. Maybe people didn't know you were an Arab back then when you were wearing a mask. Interesting.
Give me some more context. Where the
I don't see anything in the background that would indicate that you are, but okay.
ideas were coming from. I don't think he's trying to crucify him. He
Teddy Fresh shirt also, like, Jesus, lick them balls.
just claimed in the podcast himself that him and John Tron are friends. So I wouldn't do him any good to make him look worse.
Anytime Ethan feels he's superior to a guest,
I'm not gonna rewind. There's just nothing there.
Blatantly obvious. One of the worst occasions of this is the episode with Jimmy Lee.
Oh, the Jimmy Lee part of it. I love this part. It's almost comedic how you portray Jimmy Lee.
You're gonna show us how bad of a person Jimmy Lee is to defend Ethan, to justify Ethan's behavior there?
Whole segment. You make Jimmy Lee. Oh my god, I'm not even doing a bit right now, guys. I just realized. Am I doing a cunty laugh? I need to move on. So for sake of argument, let's just say that wasn't a cunty laugh. That was a sincere laugh. Because a cunty laugh is more okay. I'm good. No, cunty laugh is more like it doesn't even. It's like talking while you're laughing. That's what it is. You know, like very fake, just laughing, just to act superior. Like I was sincerely laughing because the Jimmy Lee thing was some funny shit, man. Because the whole narrative of this segment is that it makes it look like Jimmy Lee is this poor old man that Ethan.
It kind of shows that the guy is a bit low IQ, I think. Socially awkward, not able to see that they're making fun of him. But maybe he is, but he also wants to just 5 minutes of fame. He wants to get the most out of it. He wants to make more money with his content, shitty content, admittedly. Gokanaru did not spend too much time about how much of a shitty content creator that person actually is, and who would want that person as your dentist. Jesus Christ. I will be black with you in a minute. Like, yeah, it's super stupid. So here...
Okay. It's mind-blowing because Jimmy Lee is such a racist, rude, psychotic man.
I'm going to try and make this brief, but if you do watch this podcast episode, it is insane the amount of disrespect that Ethan displays for this old man. He opens the podcast by basically bashing...
So, it's kind of weird to invite someone that you think is racist to your podcast. I get you could use that as a defense and say, well, he got him in the podcast, so he could make fun of him in the podcast. You don't have to do that. Unless you're debating the person and they have just stupid views. That's not the case. He's just cringe. And you invited him to make fun of him on the podcast. Kind of make him feel awkward. Ila not capable of smiling towards him. Always smiling towards Ethan to show that they're in on it, on the joke, and he's the joke. Yeah, you don't have to do this. It's kind of lame.
him and discrediting him as a...
Because you're not actually debating. It's not a debate. And yes, you are kind of making fun of him, discrediting him. Like, as you can see in that video, there are apparently some people that like him as well. He's not funny, but yeah, there are some people that think he's kind of funny.
Medium.
Like, it's the same as you got the guy with Silence I Kill You. That guy was not funny. There's so many comedians that are so not funny that have like so many fans. Kevin Hart, like the list of comedians that are not funny is super, super big. Inviting one of those people and then just dunking on them and the fact that they're not funny is like kind of messed up.
His comedy style is essentially roasting people he's never met before. Because the guy's a legend, so. And Jimmy, he's a legend.
Then after talking shit about...
I want to hear what AB has to say about that.
He welcomes him on.
Does he have more than just the guy is just racist and blah, blah, blah?
Podcast.
Like, you are putting the label racist on him when he's like saying racist jokes because he thinks it's funny. He has, like, did he really say racist jokes? Or does race play a role in his stupid jokes and it's super lame? But does he really have a racist opinion about people? Because you're saying he does. He's a racist person.
Jimmy Lee, welcome to Legend.
The guest actually reveals himself to be kind of, a decent guy.
Jimmy Lee is not a decent guy. Maybe deep down he is, but if you're able to scratch at Ethan for such little things, he's done little mistakes. Have you seen any of
Little mistakes? I guess it was more than an hour. So a lot of mistakes. Hypocrite. Being a hypocrite is pretty bad.
These videos? Like, did you see? Look how he makes fun of these poor girls for being fat. Like, this is fucked up shit, man.
Guess what? You guys, it's Jimmy Lee, the Jersey Outlaw. I got the 8th one for the world over here, and the 9th one for the world. Tell them your name.
8th wonder of the world and 9th wonder of the world.
Nicole? Shalimar just got her own zip code 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's super messed up. Comedy at the cost of
So
other
like
people.
you're basically just like making like brutal fat jokes. You seem to be very focused on race, like when you do your bits.
It's a gotcha thing, right? You're bringing him as a guest, and then you're confronting him with like the messed up stuff he has said, but you did not make it clear to him that this is what you're planning to do, because you should have just told him like, hey, I disagree with the jokes, the stuff, and I want to debate you on whether this is cool or not. And then leave it up to him if he wants to come to the podcast or not. But baiting him and getting him there and then doing this is kind of messed up still. Yeah, you made a fat joke at the cost of someone, not cool. Yeah.
Well, I was a marathon.
It's fine to confront someone about that. You either react to their content, or you tell them that you are going to bring up their content, but also you're going to be very critical. I think that's fair. That's not what he did.
Runner, and that's
He was like sitting there with his relatively low IQ, kind of thinking that you guys were like on his side and just you think he's a cool guy and you're having a cool conversation with him, but you're not.
part of that reason.
Yeah, why?
You said I was focused on race, and it's because I was a marathon runner.
Right there in this clip, just
That's his out. He's like just making
to
jokes.
give you another example, because you edited this footage, so you've had to see it. You can see Ethan playing with his hands as well.
Is it racist to refer to black people as blacks?
So Ethan's clearly just looking for reasons to not like this guy, and he focuses heavily on the fact that his jokes are dated and they're kind of racist in a way.
So we're going to zoom in on him being a racist. Okay?
How's the ankle bracelet doing? Good? Don't worry about it. You Spanish guy? I am. See your papers. Couple black girls. You black, I took a guess.
It's super cringe and stupid. It's super cringe and stupid. Yeah. It's his type of comedy.
You're all right. Oh, what size of this one? I'm half black. She went in
And people are kind of, okay with it, and that's why he keeps doing it.
7-11 to illegal 610. You're a big girl. She was on a quarter. The cops went told her to break it up.
He is probably making people uncomfortable
She's
as
a big
well.
girl.
When the camera is running, you don't want to look like the person that can't take a joke, but it's a shitty joke. But you don't want to react with excuse me, so people sometimes also feel pressure to laugh. And
What do you want?
the camera is the problem here. He is the problem, but also the
He's not
camera.
just bullying some old man. He's not some fucking sadistic fuck, as it's portrayed often in this video. Trust me, Jimmy.
Doesn't change the fact that you should just be honest and say, hey, come over to my podcast. It will be a debate. I'm going to criticize you, and I would like you to just respond, and we'll have a conversation about it. But I think what you're doing is kind of messed up. Are you willing to come to my show so we can discuss it? Then it's up to him. But all the cards are on table. So it's not giving him the feeling that you kind of think he's cool. So you're saying some things like he's a legend and blah, 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 when you don't think that he is a legend. Ethan, by the way, thinks he's a legend himself, and then glass drops on his
He was not
desk.
bullied. He loved this shit. He loved this podcast. It just boosted his career. He posted video.
Can still be wrong. Can still be bad. Yes, it probably boosted his career because some people love racist humor or whatever. Great. Okay, so if that's your take here, how is that a positive thing? When he's doing racist, shitty humor, Ethan boosted the career of a racist comedian? That's cool in your book? What a great superhero you
Himself in the
are.
podcast, his own footage from the podcast on his own channel.
And oh my god, did you see that? Look at this. My god, Ethan. So we just got a good look at the Google Doc he uses to question this guy. And wouldn't you know it?
This is used as an argument that this is what he does. He just has a list of questions and he will ask all those questions.
Question he asked. There's a fucking Google Doc of Ethan's Are you fucking... Oh my god. Oh.
So here we have AB completely missing the point of Ethan simply just asking all the questions that he has in his Google Doc and not being able to just hold a normal conversation with someone, which most normal people can do. The idea of having some questions on your list, Abdullah, is to fall back on questions when you cannot just go with the flow with the conversation. If you don't have anything, but here he just used these questions, even interrupted them in one case. Was that deliberately edited out of context? But he was not being creative at all, and he was not really trying to have a conversation. He just wanted to own the guy, make fun of him. But not a lot of creativity if you're just reading off the questions, which he then shows that it looks like he's doing the same thing with Bill Burr as well. So, yeah, kind of a dumb argument here.
Dude, Ethan uses a Google Doc for his questions? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm kidding. So what, dude? Use the Google Doc. What the fuck do you want? What do you think? What is he, a master fucking... Here's a photographic memory? What does it matter? He's using Google Doc. I hope he's using Google Doc. You know, at different points...
Completely goes over his head. The fact that if you have someone as a guest on your podcast, that you try to go with the flow and have a conversation and not just constantly read all the questions from your list. I guess if you're 10, if you're 10 and you need to interview someone, you prepare and then you just ask those questions, and then you cannot come up with any follow-up questions on your own, so you just constantly look at your list and see like, okay, how many more questions?
Critique him for being a shitty podcast host, but then at this point you're saying, oh my god, he uses a script.
He follows the script to the T. Like that, the critique is like, you do not understand the critique. That's crazy, man.
His question's written down, so what?
I do call out people for being very low IQ. Like being very low IQ is not bad per se, but thinking you're high IQ when you're relatively low IQ is kind of like cringe. It just completely goes above his head. And this is the video that got you the job with the H3 podcast. Interesting.
Fuck, you didn't take any notes when you made your video? Damn it.
No, I don't have any notes for this video. He wrote a script. He made an actual scripted video with sketches and stuff. You're doing the lazy man's job, which is what I'm doing now here as well, but you have really bad arguments. The only single argument you had that was valid was that he edited that one out of context. But if we go and look at that entire podcast, there were enough clips where we could see that John Tron was being uncomfortable. I don't care about John Tron. I think it's totally fine to push on that shit that he said. He didn't really own up to it to the degree that I would have expected him to do. But if that shit is coming out of your mouth, then yeah, fuck. It is already out of his mouth. You know what he thinks.
And when you know it, it outlines every single question he asked.
There's no saving that. But unfortunately, the majority of his audience didn't mind that he said all of those things. They thought it was quite based.
Asks for me, and I got a big outfit. And
So you're a successful dentist. What is your passion? Is it comedy or dentistry?
well, I wasn't doing this for money. I'm not making money doing it. It's a
Right.
passion from here.
So your passion is it comedy or dentistry?
This is cut to push the poor old man narrative by just showing where Jimmy says it's not about money, it's a passion.
Well, I wasn't doing this for money. I'm not making money doing it. It's a
Right.
passion from here. So I have one dream left. You know, I've made enough money. I have a big company. I have a wonderful family. I've been with my wife 30 years. 2 kids. My last, I traveled all over. My last thing Ethan I want to do is just get famous and known.
They're having a normal conversation. The guy just seems too human, right? So Ethan has to dehumanize him by doing this.
That's exactly what happened. It was actually Ethan a fluke.
So you want to roast one of us?
This guy seems too human, and Ethan's trying to dehumanize him. If anything, I think Ethan
He's making fun of him. He's making him look bad, yeah.
is making him more of a human. Ethan's acknowledging
No, he's not. He's clearly making fun of the dude.
him as a human, rather than most people would be like, this guy's a
Human or not, I mean, he is making fun of the
fucking
dude.
weirdo. Saying he's a legend and
Yeah, he's definitely making him look like a weirdo, which he is, I think, based on the comedy. But yeah.
all stuff is just a nice, you know, Ethan's just being nice. What do you want to say? He's a fucking nutty?
Immediate, right?
Yeah. But all of a sudden, we're having this serious thing, and now I got to go into Jimmy Lee mode.
Let's do it.
All right. So, who am I roasting? Am I roasting?
Yeah, this is
Deceptive?
clearly
You
a
want me to-
dance monkey move. And you think his humor is really stupid, so you are making a monkey dance, but a monkey that does really stupid dance.
Take a deal on for you. Yeah, I can take it.
Well,
So it's even worse.
Okay, this is a dance monkey dance situation. For those of you
I'm not sure if AB is
who
familiar
don't know
with
what that means, when you say dance monkey dance, it basically describes the desire.
He's reading straight from Wikipedia. It looks like I'm saying the dumb shit that AB is saying, right? He is like it's a well-known thing. I don't think there's a huge issue with him just reading straight from Wikipedia. It's kind of like a saying, right? He could use his own words. It doesn't matter. What a stupid
One
argument.
person to have another person perform a trick for their entertainment. It's generally really.
Hey guys, you owned him, man, because he's reading it, the definition, he's reading it straight from
demeaning, and the person has
Wikipedia. Oh my god, he read it from
Perform the trick is
Wikipedia?
usually devalued for satisfying the request.
Ethan is causing
Kind of hear that he is kind of reading, but doesn't matter at all. What a stupid
a
point.
dance monkey dance situation. I'm glad you brought this up because
You're going to claim it's not a dance monkey dance situation? Telling a comedian, hey, tell me a joke, in front of other people as well. Telling a singer, hey, sing a song. Telling a guitar player, hey, grab the guitar, play a song for us. That's a dance monkey dance thing. Okay, so you're going to say it's not.
actually I'm gonna come back to this. I just want you to remember his point that he made about Ethan wanting Jimmy Lee to dance monkey dance.
Now in this situation,
That is exactly what it is.
Jimmy is being very fucking nice to Ethan. He goes.
He tries. Yeah, he will go with the flow, right? They're laughing at him. They're making fun of him. It's their inside joke. But it's not on the table as clear as day to this weirdo. So he's like going with their flow.
He tries his best to be funny on the spot in front of all these viewers. But Ethan doesn't want him to be
He's not a good comedian, so he can't, right? He just has those one-liners. That's basically it.
funny. He just wants to demean the guy. So after so long of the guy trying his best to be funny, he actually kind of succeeds.
Jimmy Lee kind of succeeds at this roast section. How so? How does he succeed? By saying that he's Ethan's real dad and that Ethan's real mom is black and they had a lot of skin treatments. Roast section. How so? How does he succeed?
His point is that he, instead of refusing to dance, he does try to dance. That's, again, something you're not getting here, which is not surprising.
By saying that he's Ethan's real dad and that Ethan's real mom is black and they had a lot of skin treatments on him when he was a kid? Or was it the Jewish joke that he made?
The difference between a Jew and a canoe, he said...
That's all he got, dude. They know that is all he
What is
got.
the difference between a Jew and a canoe? I said a canoe tips.
How did he kind of...
Yeah, that's all he does. They know that. That's why they brought him on the podcast, you dumbass.
Succeed in that roast? I don't know, maybe you have...
Like, saying he succeeded in the roast or whatever.
Have a different sense of humor. We definitely have a different sense of humor. I can tell you based on the skits.
That's not the point.
Skits are great. Love
The point is that he said, "Hey, dance monkey," and he was like, "Let me dance for you. I am the monkey, and I will dance for you." That's the argument. Like, he even tried to dance when he was told to dance. Like, you don't get that.
And I'm dead serious. Like this is uploaded to their channel. It's still there. You should watch it because it's just insane that this guy who's actually being very respectful and answering Ethan's questions, he just gets the fucking cold shoulder.
Whew, let's keep watching, man. This video.
Watching his old videos, cherry picking the parts that make him look bad. Again, so you're just going to say, yeah, it's all cherry picked. Okay, interesting. I think these segments were actually way too long, so I think it was sharing too much content.
It's spectacular.
Cherry picking the parts of his videos to make him look bad. That's ironic.
It's two different personalities.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Our sponsors.
Cherry picking to make him look bad. That's ironic.
What I like is the fun.
Bad.
Cherry picking.
That's ironic.
It's two different personalities.
All right, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Our sponsors.
What I like is the fun with
Because that one trying to rationalize his poor treatment.
Right.
and we're doing it great off the cuff.
Yeah, he doesn't realize he's not doing
When
great.
we were really young is when there were two comedians. You say in the 70s, 80s, it was one, but when
He's trying to level with them, but he can't because they have this inside jokes of him being lame and they're making fun of him.
All right, Jimmy, we're going to take a quick break. Run to the bathroom. We'll be ready in like 3 minutes.
You show a clip where it looks like Ethan just abruptly cuts off Jimmy and is trying to end the podcast, but you didn't show that Ethan has been trying to end it for a while and Jimmy Lee just kept going and going and going. It's like the third time Ethan's tried to end it.
Yeah, normally with these podcasts, your guest just stays at the table and can still have a conversation, so it's kind of weird. Ethan's first attempt at cutting to a break.
Quick break.
Sure.
You want to run to the bathroom, get a drink?
I would like.
If you don't have to go to the bathroom, you're supposed to go to the bathroom. Interesting.
You know how he's out in the men's room, Ethan? May I? May I?
You may.
All the dicks.
What?
Wait, say that joke.
You know how he's out in the men's room?
Yeah,
May
all
I?
the dicks.
May I?
Yeah.
All the dicks.
I don't get
It's a joke.
the may I part.
Like, may I give you the answer?
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah.
You know I have 2 fans now? Because I'm doing well.
Let's take a quick break.
No, I got.
Ethan's second attempt. Hey, go to the bath. Go piss. That's your own here. Ethan says, "Do you need to piss?" And the guy doesn't need to piss. And you're like, you should understand with go and piss is like get the fuck out. Interesting. You think you're making a good point for
2 fans
Ethan.
are up in the app. I'll
Interesting.
talk to you later.
Okay, yeah.
Can
Let's
I
talk.
pee?
Yes.
Thank
All the
you.
dicks.
My
You may.
urologist says okay.
You may. All right, so we're gonna thank our sponsors.
You know what I
briefly.
like is the fun with the seriousness and the juxtaposition.
So here, what happens? Because I do believe he's not that high IQ. I don't have a problem with dentists, but because I assumed that they were a bit higher IQ. He's not the average dentist, I hope. What he's doing here is that he is thinking of how TV shows work, but their ad breaks is like Ethan saying, "I shave my balls with Manshaved," and you need to shave your balls with Manshaved. That's like he doesn't know that they're doing on-show ads constantly.
Right.
So he thinks he can keep talking because the viewers are watching an ad. You idiot. That is what is happening here.
We're doing it great.
You don't get it. You're saying now the guy is rude when he just doesn't understand how this ad break works. Because he's not that interested to actually watch the podcast. He's just happy that he's on the podcast so he can get more viewers and make more money with his shitty jokes.
It's kind of like Alan
So many things go above your head. It's kind of crazy.
Right.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, for them it's an inside joke. They could just explain it to him, right? By the way, with the ad break, it's like we're still live. But yeah, if he's just quiet, you could also say, I have an ad read now. You can say, hey, Jimmy, I'll get back to you in a couple of minutes. I need to do an ad break. It's very concrete. I'll get back to you in a couple of minutes. Hey, Jimmy, I need to go to an ad break. And then turn towards the camera, do your ad break. He's not going to interrupt you when you do your ad break. He doesn't do that because it's funnier to laugh at the guy.
Well, you are a perfect straight man because I was very friends with Steve.
It's funny how Hila can't look at him when she's laughing at him.
Who died. Steve was a straight guy in the morning, and we hung out for about 15, 20 years. I learned a lot from him.
You cut all of this out, you're making another win point for the guy. Ethan can clearly make it clear. It's not that difficult to make it clear that your ad read is like live, like we're still live. The guy clearly does not realize that it's still live. He thinks people are watching an ad. How do you not understand this?
He was a singer, and then he moved into the straight role, and Marty was the comic.
And like for him, it's like the ad is playing and it's going to be dead silent if I don't talk. Let me keep talking. He's kind of nervous, so he's like, let me try to entertain him by telling stories and whatever. Like he doesn't realize that people are not seeing an ad right now. You do not get this. That's crazy to me. You just do so many
Back when we were
self-owns.
really young is when there were two comedians. You see, in the 70s, 80s, it was one, but when it was 50s,
You can see him not talking into the mic. Like he's not really talking into the mic.
Run to the bathroom. We'll be ready in like 3 minutes.
Ethan is just being an idiot for not, but he likes this because it's just more milking it more, right?
I gotta run a schedule. It's from the producer. He's
So it's the guy doesn't know.
screaming at me. It's not me.
I remember watching this live. I was loving this podcast because Ethan really did have no control of the situation. Jimmy Lee was
Oh my God, you're so dumb. Ethan had no control of this situation. He couldn't explain to the guy that clearly didn't understand that the footage, the feed was not cut to an ad with like a commercial ad break that you see with like TV shows and stuff. Ethan did not realize that. So I honestly think Ethan is smarter than you. I have to admit, I do think Ethan is like a bit higher IQ than you.
out of hand. He couldn't just answer a simple question like how you doing. He could not just answer how you doing. How are you? Everything was a bit. It was good. It was good stuff.
Oh my goodness. All right, this is.
Yeah, Gokanaru was right here. All you could do is just show that the guy is like has shitty humor.
I don't know how to handle this shit. Yeah, thank you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm fucking in. I'm in over my head.
Seriously.
Is this I feel like I have no control over this.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks
I love
for
you
coming
guys.
out for us. Thanks for coming. I love you too, buddy.
I love you. And you have an open invitation a couple hours.
What's the
Email me.
address?
It's the Peninsula
No,
Hotel.
don't say it.
Ooh, beep. You know where
Sorry, I
I'm
shouldn't have
at.
said
You can email me if you want.
All right, Jimmy. God bless you.
Yeah, he's the butt of the joke.
Thank you,
Peace and
everybody.
love, and H3H3 rocks.
I don't think Jimmy was hurt by this podcast. They say they love each other.
The majority of people that looked, like 95%, thinks what a weirdo, and that was the
Jimmy
goal.
offers them to come to dinner with him. I think he was okay.
Yeah, okay, fine. I think it went above your
What makes this
head.
perfect is that during the interview, Ethan made it seem like the guy was racist, that his jokes, that were clearly jokes, were racist. And then 5 minutes after the old guy leaves, he says this.
Oh shit. Loop off. So let's go.
Essentially roasting people he's never met before, which is the guy's a legend. So
let's go.
Best to be funny. He actually kind of succeeds.
Jimmy Lee kind of succeeds at this roast section. How so? How does he succeed? By saying that he's.
What I like is the fun with.
Let's go.
no, hey, I gotta run a. No,
Keep going.
hold on. That was like a fucking jihad dab.
Like the guy was racist, that his jokes, that were clearly jokes, were racist. And then 5 minutes after the old guy leaves, he says this.
For banning dabbing.
He makes racist jokes. Okay, let's skip.
So the audio little animated star killer as I go through this section and maybe a few others. Let me just try to sum up this section as quickly as possible.
This is William Osmond. He's an engineer who makes very creative 1,000 subscribers.
I'm gonna skip. Let's see what he says.
That is not true. Captain Disillusion had less than 1 million subs when he was on the podcast.
A single one with less than 1 million subscribers.
That is not true. Captain Disillusion had less than 1 million subs when he was.
That's what you're showing there is 1 million views, not subs. Really? AB? That is how you prove that he had 1 million subs at that point? By showing 1 million views? Which is not subs? Fascinating.
on the podcast. Bill Burr has less than 1 million subscribers. I mean,
Bill Burr has less than 1 million subscribers. Is Bill Burr, like, you know, he's a stand-up comedian, right? So you know that a lot of people don't even follow him on YouTube. They follow him on Instagram and other platforms. He sells out his shows. He's on TV shows. He's not a YouTube content creator, really, right? So bad example.
Bill Burr, but also Ty Lopez had less than 1 million subscribers. He hit 1 million.
Yeah, but he was kind of a meme, and then Ethan thought, hey, it's actually quite entertaining. Okay.
A few days after the podcast, which is
Let me go back.
I know it's Bill Burr, but also Ty Lopez had less than 1 million subscribers. He hit 1 million a few days after the podcast, which is an insignificant fact, but I just want to show you guys about my shit.
Nice. So you were the one that said they were not friends when he didn't really make fun of the guy when he asked him to be on the podcast, and then he grew a lot, which shows that he wasn't really making fun of the guy. So he was very friendly with the guy, which disproves your point earlier in the video. Interesting.
Except Eric from Internet Comment Etiquette. Other than Eric, William was the first person to be invited onto the podcast with less than 1 million subs.
The point Gokanaru, I think, is trying to make in this section is that Ethan's a dick. He doesn't care about this guy. He just wants.
The point he's trying to make is Ethan thinks he's just a dick.
To bring Beanie on the podcast and dip. I think the guy kind of knew going into it. He only was given a 20-minute time spot because he wasn't an actual guest. Ethan heard about.
He wasn't an actual guest. What do you call someone that is a guest on the podcast? He wasn't an actual guest. Oh my God, you're doing this? So you're saying they have like the 20-minute guest? The 5-minute guest? What is the smallest amount of time that a guest can get? Is there like a 2-minute guest? A 1-minute guest? Like they can show their face and then go away? Again, a very dumb argument.
The tragedy, he heard about the Beanie and he allowed the guy to come in, bring the Beanie himself, personally.
You turn him into an actual guest. You let him sit there. You let him sit there. That's what they do. That's what they all do, but he doesn't. He wants to kick him out.
Talk about the tragedy. Ethan was able to promote his channel, give him a shout out, and that was it.
The focus seemed to be the tragedy, something that he might not have wanted to talk about a lot because it's kind of a downer. He wants to talk about the Beanie, maybe plans for the future. Like, yeah. Like, the only part was like, yeah, you did the Beanie thing. I think you should have started out with the Beanie. That's why he's there. And then from the Beanie on forward, you could talk about what happened. If he's reacting to that in an interesting way, showing like, hey, I like exploring this, giving you like layups to say something interesting, you can continue talking about it. Or if you feel like, hey, he doesn't seem to really want to explore that more, you will ask him like, what are your plans for the future? It's not that difficult, AB. But you're completely downplaying the fact that he only got like 20 minutes on the show.
I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think he was being a dick at all.
Nothing wrong about it, okay. He wasn't really very mean to him, but like, yeah, the 20-minute guest is kind of weird. It's not a TV show where like someone comes and does a song and then they dance like a monkey and then they go.
William himself commented on the video Vigilante and defend Ethan and Hila. He stated, in Ethan and Hila's defense, they were very nice.
In their defense, they were very nice. Nothing at the time made me think people would be upset. It just felt like a slightly awkward conversation with someone who doesn't know much about you, so they didn't really look into it. Ethan's original plan was to use the Beanie in a video, but switched to the podcast last minute when a guest dropped out. So he needed... I think that's what happened. So he needed someone to fill a spot, and he's like, let me fill it with the Beanie guy. Since the podcast, I've texted him a few times asking for YouTube help, and he's always responded. Not platformed him or in any way, right? No collabs. I don't think they're bad people, but YouTube's fame is a much bigger monster than most people realize, and it's weighing down on them. There is criticism here as well that you're completely missing.
I think the time
Interesting.
made me think they would be upset. It just felt like a slightly awkward conversation with someone who doesn't know much about it. I don't think they're bad people, but YouTube fame is a much bigger monster than most people realize, and it's weighing down on them.
Thank you for having me.
So you're not confirming any of the critique there, right? Like quickly filling that spot. Like Ethan cannot fill 20 minutes by talking to another guest or just reacting to dumb shit on the screen. Damn, you're dumb.
So that's it. They just wanted him to come on, talk about his
Right? He could have invited him as a normal guest, turned it into a bigger thing. Like, you're going to be my guest. I will talk to you for like an hour or something. And you can stay at the desk, at the table. And if someone is like constantly talking over people, like, yeah, that's messed up. But most people are socially not that awkward, and they will not do that. So they, yeah, he just needed someone to fill like a small spot. Yeah.
tragedy, and then
So yeah, that's another self-on by showing his actual reaction. He was being nice, but like clearly Yeah, I was not too
being
happy.
and get out. You know, this is a fan and a fellow YouTuber who is very. So Bill Burr doesn't know who.
Let's,
I felt like he didn't have to earn it. And Bill Burr's a very grounded guy, and he fucking shattered that illusion, and it was beautiful to see.
Bill Burr demolished Ethan by shattering his illusion of being superior. I think this whole section is ridiculous.
I do think that Bill Burr showed that he is better on his toes, that Ethan cannot win it from him in a conversation because he's a comedian, he's a stand-up comedian, he's good at this shit. Ethan is not. He can wing it, he can go to all these talk shows, and he can be interesting because that's what he does. They talk, working the crowd and stuff. Ethan is not capable of doing that. And Bill Burr did kind of put him in his place. So let's see what your receipts are.
I watched the podcast, and that's just how Bill Burr talks. I think anyone who knows Bill...
No, Bill Burr was definitely annoyed because Ethan kept pushing on things that he didn't want to talk about, and he was upset that Ethan was just not listening, just leaving things alone and just talk about other stuff. Like, Ethan did a horrible job. Even Ethan agreed, I don't know if this was a long time after this podcast, Ethan agreed it was the worst thing that he has ever done, like content-wise, quality-wise.
Bill Burr just knows that's how he is, that's his personality. I was actually impressed with Ethan being able to
No, it's not just his
hold
personality.
his own against Bill Burr. If you watch any of his other videos, any of his other interviews, that's his personality. That's just how Bill Burr is.
No, Bill Burr was clearly annoyed by Ethan. So you're wrong there. And you can't convince me of anything else by showing me video.
in the middle of a gas station.
I know, I had all this momentum going, now I gotta start all over again.
It's
Go ahead,
funny.
go to the card.
One of my favorite comedians, I'm excited to talk to you.
That's not a good receipt, you dumbass.
Well, I'm excited to be here. These chairs are horrific.
You've never really written on a sitcom before if you go through your credits. You haven't really been on a show before.
Why'd you have to bring that up? There was all these other nice things on your IMDb page.
See him being happy, being in his element. He's like, yeah, I can win with this.
But I noticed this one glaring thing that you've never done, and right out of the gate. Was it because I made fun of the chairs? I'm sorry.
Bill's a humble dude.
He's good on his
But
toes.
let's it rip, man. And I just...
I'm not humble. I'm an egomaniac. I can't believe I actually agreed to do this interview. You haven't said that once. I've been
It's not an own, you dude.
in here for almost... Jeez, it's only been half an hour.
You hear those people laughing immediately while he's making the joke and not taking like 5 seconds to process things in their brain. Yeah, not a good argument at all. So up to now, the only real good argument you had was that something was clipped out of context, but the argument still stands because there were so many clips.
Ethan Klein, a joke thief.
No. Great. Are you gonna do what H?
So let's move.
Exactly. I'd say solid.
Yeah.
Let's
Joke
forward.
thief because he's what's going on with like this? Ethan himself admitting where he got the idea for Vape Nation.
So it's funny that you think this is on when this was part of the original video. Interesting.
One day I was filming with Filthy Frank, and his producer.
So you're showing the actual video and saying, hey, here's the counter argument. You're showing the video. you're countering.
Was there, and he was vaping so hard. I was like, God, what's going on with like this vaping? He said, he's like, yeah, man,
It's really
this is Vape
bad.
Nation. And I was like, wait. I was
It's part of the video.
like, wait, say that again.
So you're kind of making it look like it's not part of the video. Fascinating. Yeah, we do see Gokanaru's stamp there in the bottom right corner. This is so this is maybe the most stupid thing you've done in this entire video. Fascinating.
I do not get this part. I'm sorry. I do not understand this part. It is not an uncommon thing that creators get motivation from someone else or from another source. And Ethan is giving credit right there. Just because someone says something doesn't mean he had the whole idea for a video. Ethan is the one who took initiative to make a whole video off of a phrase. So this whole part was just a waste of time.
Oh,
Okay, so that's your point. You're showing it to show that you don't get it. Okay, fine.
money. Yeah.
Fine. Is it a big one? Big critique of him stealing jokes? No, it's not a great point.
I like money though.
In the podcast following Ethan's drunk...
Like, he has said that he got it from someone else. That's at Vape Nation. I don't
He
care.
rants about Keemstar. He makes this comment.
By the way, the show. Well, I mean, I don't need to clickbait. We're okay, all right? I'm not like desperate for more clicks.
I will admit, the Gokanaru video was not as good as I remember it being.
To put it. Man.
Okay, so I see a humble brag.
But the hypocrisy, I think, was proven.
And a way
Which was the main
for you
thing.
to deflect the criticism that you used PewDiePie's controversy to kind of clickbait people and make them watch the podcast.
A humble brag. I don't think it was a humble brag because he usually is humble, and it's not often that we see Ethan bragging. So I think it was just his way of saying we don't need the money, we don't need the clickbait views. It's the best point he could have made. It's true.
But when someone deflect the criticism that you used PewDiePie's controversy,
Put it. I don't need to clickbait. We're okay, all right? I'm not like desperate for more clicks. To put it. Man.
Okay, so I see a humble brag and a way for you to deflect the criticism that you used PewDiePie's controversy to kind of clickbait people and make them watch the podcast.
A humble brag. I don't think it was a humble brag because he usually is humble, and it's not often that we see Ethan brag.
My lord is humble.
And so I think it was just his way of saying we don't need the money, we don't need the clickbait views. It's the best point he could have made. It's true.
But
Business-wise, that was an amazing
when
decision.
somebody else brings up your financial situation, It's a little different.
It's great. No, I'm so happy. Seems like you're doing all right for yourself.
Yeah, we got some walls. We got.
Make that money.
Yeah, we're trying.
You spin too.
Still hustling.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, you either can't see something in someone's face in reaction or you can't.
Ugh.
It was a bit
Really
uncomfortable
didn't like
there.
that. Doesn't take a genius to see you did not.
AB does not see it, so it does take.
Like that.
You didn't like that. I think you're really picking with this one. Cherry picking with this one, man. Like grasping at straws, man.
Ethan,
Grasping at straws, man.
you started the podcast because ad revenue was low. There's nothing wrong with that. If you need money to support yourself,
It's true.
then get it however you need. Just make
People love it. It's not a
That's
pre-recorded video. It's live. And I think that he carries a lot of that personality in the videos, in the podcast. Many people hate it, and many people love it. That just
Okay, yeah. Quality-wise, it's really low quality compared to the videos that he made, even though those were not that great, in my opinion. But okay, fine. If you're like 12, you probably think it's really funny. Or even maybe a little bit older. But definitely the quality is a lot lower. It's kind of like slop content. A lot of podcasts shouldn't actually exist. I'm actually one of those people that doesn't mind people making podcasts because I don't have to listen to it. But yeah, a lot of people don't have anything interesting to say. And like, I have never considered his podcast content to be really that interesting.
how it
to be
is.
very
I actually
honest.
like that. I get to hear more than just a video, every so often. Actually get
Okay.
a real look into their lives. It's like hanging out.
A real look into their lives. Yeah, a bit too much got exposed. Like the jar, yeah. Their feelings
why I love
about
podcasts. Just like, yeah,
Israel,
it's not too serious. It's
the
lighthearted.
genocide.
Just chilling.
Do you want to know why Ethan is focused so heavily on the podcast over the last year? Why he hasn't made any original content in the last 4 months?
I mean, AB will say business, right?
Well, the podcast is new content. You and many others brush off the work that goes to this podcast. He doesn't just
So that helped you to get the job, right? There's there's not that much work to do the podcast. My ass. No way. Yeah, it's not comparable. You just have a couple of guests, you have a couple of bullets, and you just keep talking and doing those ad reads. Yeah, you're exaggerating how much work the podcast is. Because let's be honest, and this is maybe after the fact because I never really watched the podcast, but clearly you guys are doing a shitty job. That's why a lot of people are making content exposing you guys, because you're doing a very shitty job. If you guys would have prepared the stuff that you guys would say, especially Ethan and Hila, during the podcast, would have been more informed. Hila would not have said Yoav Galand is a great guy. She would have already thought about what she would say, because this would be brought up. So zero preparedness
fucking
there.
go in there, lay back, and just talk. There's a lot of prep work that goes. Yeah, he has people helping him, but he needs to. He does it multiple times weekly. It is not easy. He has to sit
It's pretty
there
easy.
and stay entertaining for a whole
He's not entertaining.
2 hours, multiple
He's not entertaining for those hours.
times a week. It's rough.
That's kind of one of the things that was shown in this video, right? And you were just saying, disagree, he's entertaining. He is kind of showing the receipts that, yeah, is it really entertaining to hear an ad read every 5 minutes? Like, yeah, you're...
And you're gonna make fun of him for using a Google Doc. What the fuck?
The podcast
The Google Doc again went above your head, right?
makes a fuck ton of money. Each episode of the H3 podcast has 3 to 4 sponsors. That is insane.
The podcast has 3 to 4 sponsors. Every podcast has sponsors, dude. He's
So what is now flying above AB's head is a lot of sponsors. He's just hearing they have sponsors. That is the quality of this video.
man. It's a business. Like I said,
It's a business. It's a good business
That's it.
decision. You should have 400 sponsors and just split your sentences, like the words between each word. You should do a sponsor, because business-wise, that's an amazing business
he didn't. He's not
decision.
gonna just be putting out videos for no reason. He needs to get something out of it. He needs to live off of it. You're talking about.
So now AB is kind of making the point that you need to make as much money as you can from it, and like keep adding ads until people start leaving. So yeah, you're making a very dumb argument here again. It ruins the content, it ruins the flow of the show. There's a lot of downsides to adding too many ad breaks. You're also kind of pushing a lot of shitty stuff to your audience that you don't really stand behind, because yeah, my ass, he doesn't even shave.
4 sponsors. Leave the commercials are 5-6 minutes. It's all at the same time. It's
5-6 minutes, 5 sponsors. That's crazy.
5 minutes. Take 5, dude. Go fucking.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Hey, it's 20 times 5 minutes. Come on, just go for a toilet break every 5 minutes for 5 minutes. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Your arguments are so bad. It's crazy.
Go beat your dick off. Go pee. Go do something.
Go beat your dick off. Like, this is Now I'm starting to get why you're still there. You're just very low IQ. This is it. You just don't get it. It's amazing.
Whoop-de-doo, 5 minutes for real? You can't deal with 5.
Whoop-de-woo, five times 5 minutes for real? 20 times 5 minutes, whoop-de-woo. 400 times 5 minutes, whoop-de-woo.
5 minutes of commercials?
He
5 minutes
doesn't
of
understand how often it happens, and that was the point of critique. Like, too many ad breaks. The 5 minutes, he doesn't mind that much, but like 5 times 5 minutes in one podcast, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, he's right. What you could do is say other similar podcasts are doing the same, and they're not.
Well, are you glued to fucking watching it the whole time? I don't know why I did this, but are you just glued
It's very
to watching
dumb.
the fucking podcast? God forbid you have to interrupt. What are you
This is the guy that is in favor of a lot of ad breaks, guys. You know what? Yeah. If you're watching a podcast, let's say in the theaters, or if you're watching a movie, let's just add some ad breaks there as well, like 25-minute breaks. Go just go to the toilet, go buy some popcorn. It's a great business decision. Are you glued to the podcast? Like, people are watching it, they're listening. Those 5 minutes for the majority of people is not relevant. All the people that do not live in the same country cannot buy that stupid thing that you're promoting. Like, all of this stuff you're completely ignoring, right? So it's not relevant ad for most people, outside at least.
busting nine and interrupted? Who gives a shit? Take a break. Or
Who gives a shit?
Or if
it's just valid criticism, he's allowed to share that criticism. Your counter argument is no argument, and you have children clothing on, dude. There's literally a children's clothing logo on that shirt, and you walk with that shirt outside of your
that
house.
big of a deal. Don't watch it live. Watch it the next day, man, and then you could just
Watch it the next day, and you can skip it. So here, AB, it's not even C. There's no C. It's just AB. AB is completely disregarding the fact that a huge part for the stupid podcast, it's the stupid podcast. Stupid host, I don't like them. I think it's shitty content. I think you're part of a shitty podcast, which I've made another video about that, right? A big part of it is that people feel like they're part of some family because they do not have the capability to make real friends, right? So instead of going outside, touching grass, making friends, playing basketball, whatever, they like to watch 4 or 5 hours of Ethan multiple times a week, but they really like it that they can chat with the other people and just, that's the interaction that they have with each other on the chat. That's a big part of it, right? So you're telling all those people don't watch live. Okay.
skip that shit. Am I coming off like a douche?
Yeah, you do come off as
I'm
a
kind of
douche.
douchey, but this is why I'm
You do come off as a douche. I have to admit, you do come off as a douche.
doing defense, because if I'm defending someone, then I could bring out my inner douche. I don't mind being a douche as long as I'm defending someone. Gokanaru.
I don't think there is an inner douche. I think it's just a douche in general. Like, in and out.
Nice guy. I like you, man. You put a lot of work in this video. Yeah, I'm thinking of you as a prosecution in this situation. I'm a defense attorney, so I gotta go a little hard. And you went hard too, so.
So now we understand why
Worst defense attorney that has ever existed. Holy
the
shit.
main channel has suffered so much. It's because why fucking bother making high quality
He basically stopped. Like, looking at it now, like, he basically completely stopped with the main channel. And yeah, he milked the podcast for easy content, right? Like, it makes more money. Like, with a normal video, he would not break the flow of that video, like 20-minute video, by adding 5-minute ads to, like, it is monetized, so there are ads. But you have more control of the ads if it's not done through YouTube, right? You can negotiate with them, so yeah. So clearly Ethan is going for slop content, easy content, lame content, compared to what he did, which was already lame, but this is like lamer for sure. A lot of people criticized him for not making normal content anymore. A lot of people stopped watching him as well. All stuff that AB has completely disregarded. But yeah, I get it, AB. It's a great business decision.
It takes you potentially hundreds of hours to make. When you're gonna make like $500 off the AdSense.
Yeah. You're right. Why bother? He, of course, should
He's a business guy.
keep his fans in mind, but so many people do love the podcast. He can't keep everyone happy. But if he's getting a good amount of support and he's making a good amount of money, I mean,
why not?
Yeah, he's allowed to do some great counter argument. He's getting a lot of money.
Just
That's not the point that Gokanaru made, right? You're choosing money above quality.
fucking sit down, talk to somebody, or talk to your wife who will barely respond. And that's why the podcast is twice a week. It's so that he can make twice as much money while being half as entertaining.
That was kind of funny, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, Chapter 7 was so pointless that I don't even think I'm gonna give any commentary on it. In summary, Gokanaru doesn't think Ethan's funny, and he's like the fact that Ethan keeps making a joke about prank invasion going to jail for a sexual crime, which I think we could all see is very possible. Today, I'm
Okay, so we have another point going above your head. So the guy is not going to jail for a crime, and Ethan is constantly saying it, even though we don't like the guy, nobody liked the guy. That's how Ethan got famous, right? He made fun of people that were not likable and were annoying. And so, but even regardless how much you hate the guy, saying that he's a predator or is going to prison because he's a predator, and then saying joke, and then like constantly saying it, it's kind of messed up. Yeah, it's kind of messed up, and you're completely disregarding that
go around
fact.
and kiss girls that are pregnant.
Interesting. Yeah, it's stupid content, but yeah, this is great business decision to do this. By the way, hey, by the way, AB, you're into business decisions, right?
Today is Mom Edition kissing prank.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it's fine for Ethan to make fun of that shit. What is being criticized, though, is saying that he is a sexual predator and is going to prison for that shit, which I would assume is not true, which is why he added, it's just a joke. But if you keep saying it like that, at a certain point, it's basically not really a joke, right? You're saying it's just a joke to cover yourself. That's the point that is made by Gokanaru, which flew above your head.
Don't throw up.
In general, Gokanaru feels that Ethan is unfunny, repetitive, and he complains a lot. And if you feel this way, just don't watch him. That's it.
So instead of criticizing him, that his new content is very lame, repetitive, same jokes, because that's not what happens with his like quality content on the main channel, you're saying don't criticize him, just don't watch. You're not allowed to criticize him. Fascinating.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about this section.
That's all I have to say, man. Don't criticize my king.
Seriously though, the podcasts where there's no guest are terrible. They're just lazy. And your demeanor, it's cynical, it's gross. They consist of you repeating the same jokes, bullying, or complaining. Repeating the same jokes, ugh, you really didn't like that. Doesn't take a genius to see you did not like that. Bullying.
What a great own. He said this one thing twice in this one video. You do realize he's talking about podcast after podcast after podcast after podcast after podcast. So if you're pointing to something, saying it's ironic because you said this twice, it's not really a joke. It's not really a joke. He's reacting to seeing someone being uncomfortable or something. And this is how he is putting that into words. He could have used different words, but it's basically him labeling something in a certain way. And it's a different thing now. He's labeling it in the same way. Also, went above your
This
head.
is where Ethan shows that he's a fucking idiot. Or complaining. And they're just lazy. And your demeanor, it's cynical, it's gross. I'm not nitpicking. So Ethan has a segment on his podcast where he talks about serious news articles, current events, and this is honestly where I start to lose my sympathy, because this is where Ethan shows that he's a fucking idiot.
In Pennsylvania, there's an
Let's
epidemic, an
skip
actual
forward.
pedophile.
So AB is going to probably do the easy thing, which is like, oh, look, this guy is like really bad. Okay, how are you going to defend this one? Let's see.
30%? How can you talk about Pizzagate when the Catholic Church is literally a satanic cult?
It's because it's exaggeration.
Okay, let's go. Oh, it's just hyperbolic, man. It's just hyperbolic. Yeah, you use that hyperbolic speech for a lot of other things after this thing. So a really bad argument here.
Holy shit, he just shot
It's just being hyperbolic.
in the dick!
At a certain point, it's kind of like over the top, right?
That's one of the reasons that he's so loved, is because his exaggerations are so funny. Like the humongous video.
And you...
That's so funny, calling everyone Catholic church like predators, and they all did something to kids and stuff. It's really funny. Kind of tells you what type of humor you like, right? Like toilet humor and stuff.
Still didn't get fucking kicked in the badge.
That humongous video is one of the best videos on YouTube. That is...
It was an easy dunk. She was being unhinged, and he just made fun of her. I don't think it was that good.
That goes down in the books.
No, he just makes fun of her. Like, it's not that good. Like, if that is in your top 5 of like YouTube videos, then I don't know what to tell you.
Everybody.
What do you mean?
Everybody.
I mean, yeah, most of us know about the scandal that went down in Pennsylvania. I mean, you can look it up. It's some scary shit.
Workers are pushed to be so productive that they're peeing in bottles because they're actually afraid to take a bathroom break. But also, Jeff Bezos is worth nearly $1 trillion. So hire a couple more people. When you
Search would have told you that.
And these are some harsh words, dude. I don't think he really was saying that Jeff was a trillionaire. I think he was just, that's just how Ethan talks.
Okay, great argument.
He said he likes to exaggerate.
Hey, listen.
Everything is hyperbole. It's fine.
But even if he was
Just talking hyperboles all the time. Why not?
if he sincerely thought that Jeff Bezos was a trillionaire, which I didn't think he did, big deal. It's a mistake. And you talk about a simple Google search, just like you could have done a simple Google search to see that Captain Disillusion had less than 1 million subs.
we work with
You showed his views there, not his subs.
China on Teddy Fresh, so I started to learn more about what's going on there. They get in China a month.
I'm a political commentator. This isn't an educational podcast, but actually this fact isn't wrong. You could have done a simple Google search, but since you have no fucking clue, I got you.
The sourcing blog, sourcing tips from the ground in China. 4 weeks, not 26 days. What was it? Okay, great.
Ask yourself, how did you get here? Was it because that
I'm
is
skipping a
tribally
bit because there's really...
For him dressing up like a retard. That's monkey.
Let me see.
prick is usually devalued for satisfying the request.
I think it's funny how you nitpick the situation with Jimmy Lee and Ethan, where you said Ethan was evoking a dance monkey dance situation out of Jimmy Lee, but you are claiming that people don't care about him trying new things. People just like Ethan for him dressing up like a retard. That sounds a lot more like a dance monkey dance situation to me.
No, my God, you don't understand the dance monkey thing. So he's saying people love Ethan more for the other stuff. That's not a dance monkey situation, dude. AB, try using your brain for once. I know it's 5 years later, but oh my God, this is so stupid. The dance monkey thing is like, hey, you're having a birthday party. AB is like really good with DJing. And then you have a mixer on the table and say, hey, do a mix. Come on, man, do a mix. Come on, do a mix now. Come on. And you're there like to just join a birthday party. You don't feel like mixing. You had a big gig yesterday. You're super famous for being a good DJ. And like, come on, man, perform. Perform. So you don't understand what dance monkey is.
So
he read the definition for you and you still don't understand what it is. It's fascinating.
You want to roast one of us?
Okay, this is a dance monkey dance situation. That is why
like, is that an
you're
argument?
funny. That is what people want to see. They want to see you make yourself look like a complete retard.
Ironic. Is that a Nazi like sign?
Just
He's right.
like a retard.
That is what most people really enjoyed with him. And then, yeah, he's now a children's podcast. Yeah, okay.
Like a clown.
We really need another obnoxious cunt like me in the world.
Like a goof. To do the opposite of take yourself seriously.
What? So here's where something else went above your head. So when Gokanaru is showing that animation, it's basically, hey, one of the many, like he's counting basically how many times he's being a hypocrite. You're just using it at random, which shows that you do not get that. You didn't understand why that animation was popping up in the screen. Which is fascinating that you didn't get that.
Don't convince yourself that people are coming to you for your well-rationed and reasonable opinions.
It's not a dance monkey. This is not a dance monkey.
That's not what got you here.
What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Am I kidding me or what?
You had an entire segment basically just hit a crippling
I don't want to do the stupid
alcohol
thing.
And you can't blame
I don't want to do the stupid, like at the end where he shoots. So.
Has the right to undermine the struggle of chronic depression. It's something that no one can properly supposedly.
Let's go back.
No, you've brought it up a number of times, but
let's listen.
Come on, chronic depression is nothing compared to alcoholism supposedly. And I'm not trying to compare the diseases; they're both bad, but you can't ignore one except the other. And no one has the right to undermine the struggle of chronic depression. It's something that no one can properly describe.
Did he undermine chronic depression? And said chronic depression is not as bad as alcoholism? What?
Chronic depression is not something that should be brushed off lightly at all.
He brushed off depression? He mentioned that Ethan then started talking about, but did he brush it off? I don't think really that he was brushing it off, but okay.
And you can't blame depression or anxiety for this, man. Like, I know you've brought it up.
Using it as like an escape, you can make that point. Doesn't mean he's downplaying depression. He's saying you can't use that as a defense for certain things, which I get.
A number of times, but come on, he has some issues, okay? And deep down, it seems like his intentions are good in general.
Ethan, you were a fucking scumbag emo 5 years ago, and now you think you're some kind of a...
He's doing the easy thing, so let me prove to you that the guy was actually horrible, even though Gokanaru already said that the guy was really bad. Okay?
God, fucking raising money for people.
But he said
All I wanna
stupid
know is
stuff,
whose penis is
dumb
bigger,
stuff.
yours or Ela's. I called her a whore from Israel, and if she was that upset about it, she wouldn't have left it up as a top tweet for fucking weeks. So fucking fuck you, Ethan, and fuck you, Ela.
This already came up in the video.
Fuck you, Joe.
He didn't show it, but he mentioned it.
But there's a lot of issues to be unraveled.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Basically, the premise of this chapter is Shunice is a poor, crippling alcoholic whose history of being anti-Semitic and racist in general should be ignored because of his alcoholism. And Ethan is...
No, that's not the point. Wow. He's not saying you should ignore that stuff. He's saying the guy is a chronic alcoholic. Like, he is messed up. He needs help. Doesn't mean that you should just ignore all of that stuff. You can still call him out for that stuff. Yeah? But are you trying to get him to get help? Or are you just milking it for content? Everything goes above your head. It's
He's bullying him in front of
fascinating.
his audience because he's a sadistic fuck who gets joy out of it.
I know, in my head, I know
He's milking it, yeah.
that Ethan gets some sick pleasure from putting him on blast like that. So thank you, Ethan.
It's
for putting
content. It's milking it for
alcoholic
content.
on blast, sending him on an emotional roller coaster. You're doing the Lord's work, man. Papa bless. Roller coaster. You're doing the Lord's work, man. Papa bless.
So you forgot to include the audio here?
There was a video made called
Interesting.
Deceptive H3H3.
Great editing, AB.
And I just don't agree with this video in so many ways. First off, this dude quotes the time I want. Sections, anybody else? I love the video. Kind of that kid
An
had
alcoholic dude.
Well, eventually.
As we come to a close, let's take a minute to acknowledge all the people that Gokanaru basically defended in his conquest.
Even this is flying above your head. So Gokanaru defended them. He defended the racism. He was critiquing Ethan for his behavior. He pointed out what bothered him, right? He did not say that making racist jokes is really cool. He did not say Leafy is like super cool, nice towards kids and stuff like that. So this also went above your head. So around, I think, 90% went above your head. And this landed you a job
To
at
destroy
H3.
Ethan, Leafy, Keemstar.
Wow. Gokanaru is a fan of Keemstar because he was brought up and then he was criticizing mostly Ethan. If you're that simple-minded that when he criticizes Ethan and also includes Keemstar as a reference, that he has to also explicitly say that he hates Keemstar to be allowed to critique Ethan. I don't know. You're an adult here, but watching this, you don't get that much smarter with age, right? Like there has to be something that you can work with. Oh my god.
Chan, Jimmy Lee, Shoe Knight, anything for views. What do all these people have in common? Can you guys guess what all these people have in common? They all have a history of being some racist, hateful fuckers. Whoa.
So you're now claiming that Gokanaru is racist. Interesting. Wow. Interesting. And this is your receipts for Gokanaru being okay with people being racist. Interesting.
Well, that's a genuinely shocking fact.
That's the common denominator. If you take a look at these laws, let's go through case study by case study. Let's just show you some.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
He's now showing again that these people are bad people, which Gokanaru does not deny. I think in all cases Gokanaru has also said, like, he mentioned it to a degree so people wouldn't use this as an own and say, well, that person is just about, so you're doing the easy thing. But then you're not just doing the easy thing and saying your point is not valid because that person is bad. You're saying you're defending that person that does bad things, so you agree with that person doing bad things, so you're bad. Wow. That's next level dumb shit.
Well, they commit a disproportionate amount of crime in the country, and
Why do you
mostly
think
against each other.
why do they commit a disproportionate amount of crime?
Well, we can go into that forever, and I don't really want to go into it.
You fucking stupid bitch! This stupid fucking justice, all fucking righteous fucking nigger, Alex, is doing this shit! You fucking nigger!
I'm gonna skip this shit.
But it's funny that you are so adamant on destroying Ethan Klein.
Let's go back. Really bad.
No, I'm not.
We only have 1 minute left, but holy shit, this is bad. I will include my final thoughts as
I'm
well.
saying that Gokanaru is a racist, so to speak, but
Let's go back.
no, I'm not saying that Gokanaru...
No, I'm not saying that. The voice is really bad.
Gokanaru is a racist, so to speak. But I just find it funny that you are so adamant on destroying Ethan Klein. And I don't know, I'm still doing this voice, but I don't think Gokanaru's a racist or anything. Of course, I'm not saying that. But I'm just funny on destroying Ethan Klein. And I don't know, I'm still doing this voice, but
I'm not going to slow it down to hear what you say, but if the accent was good, I would be able to hear what you say.
I don't think Gokanaru's a racist or anything. Of course, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying.
You're kind of making that case by saying that he, hey, they all have that in common. He is defending them, you said, which he did not do. Maybe when you say, like, the guy was, what was it, with the Jimmy guy, that he danced when he was asked to dance? And you're like, but then if we listen to what he actually said when he was dancing, like, dude, that's all he can do. What part of that's all he can do you not get? Ethan knows that. Hila knows that. They know he's not funny. Holy shit.
In terms of good, bad, if you want to know where you stand, it's kind of like who you surround yourself with, and look at all the people you defended along the way.
Wow. So ironic. I'm not touching AB, but there's something on my screen.
This video. I mean, I think that says something. I think Ethan's a good guy. There's just a lot of hate going on right now, because anytime you do something new, people are going to be mad.
He's just doing something new. So all the critique is not valid because he's just doing something new. He's being a hypocrite. And that was proven by Gokanaru's video. And your arguments against Ethan being a hypocrite were not good or non-existent. It mostly went above your head. The only valid point you really made was like, yeah, he clipped this one a bit inappropriately by leaving a part out. But the part that was left out was John Tron, the grade replacement guy, saying, I want to get this off the table, like, let's do it so we don't have to talk about it anymore. But Gokanaru showed a lot of clips where Ethan was like kind of asking more and more and more, even though the guy wanted to just get rid of the conversation, didn't want to talk about it.
Things change, and it's never going to be easy for people to accept. I think he's done a lot for the YouTube community, and
he's done a lot for the YouTube community, yeah.
And if some chance in hell, Ethan, you watch this video, keep doing you, man. Don't give in to the hate.
Go on, Ethan. Don't listen to the hate. Fuck people that criticize you.
It's hard for anyone, I'm sure, to be in the shoes that you are, and
you're such in a difficult position, Ethan.
Hila, you as well. I'm sure it's hard to deal with all the hate.
Raider of Ramallah, I think she had already mentioned that by now here. What hate was being targeted at Hila outside of this one video?
That you guys get. I know you guys are smothered with love as well, but I know that to one hate comment could be equal to 100 good comments of love. That one hate comment could really fuck you up, so I commend you guys. Congrats on the baby. I don't know why I'm addressing this video like you're actually gonna see it. I hope you do, but Gokanaru put a lot of work into this video. We just disagree about Ethan, and that's okay, man. Wish you best of luck. Thank you for those who sat through this whole thing. I do appreciate it, whether you agree or not.
I sat through the whole thing. You did remove it. Why did you remove it?
There's just a lot to talk about. Gokanaru really put a lot of time.
Lots of ass kissing at the end.
Diesel Patch's video where he just fucking was taking a shit and made the video. He actually put a lot of work into this, so it took time to deconstruct and give my rebuttals. I hope I didn't come off like a dick. I'm really not a dick. I'm just trying to defend the points.
It's not just like, I don't think it's being a dick, it's just being very low IQ. I think that's
attacking anyone personally.
My main takeaway is like kissing ass, licking balls, and generally speaking being very low IQ, because most of the stuff is going above your head.
I appreciate it. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Peace out.
He uses the same music from H3 to kiss his ass even more. Final thoughts. It was really bad. Gokanaru's video was not as good as I remember it being. I don't care about a lot of the negative stuff that Ethan has done to people that are kind of stupid, annoying. But yeah, I do have to agree with him, right? Yeah, why would you bring Jimmy on if you're going to make fun of him? Yeah, you shouldn't say that the guy that does pranks is like a sexual predator and just add joke. And like, it's not that funny to lie about that. Like, at a certain point, if you say it too much, the N-word compilation, there's no defense for that. That was just Ethan leaning into it, really enjoying it. Gokanaru made that clear as well. Like, it seemed like you were really enjoying saying it, and that part was like, again, completely waved away because context. So what does it say about AB? So is Ethan smart enough to realize that the defense was not great from AB? Or does Ethan believe all of these things? You know what? The fact that he gave you... If I was him, I wouldn't have said a lot of the dumb shit he has said. I wouldn't have hired you. I would have hired Gokanaru. I think I've said this many times before in other videos. Not that many. In the other video about AB. Gokanaru is clearly smarter than AB. Would have been an actual asset for the podcast. But he would be very opinionated and he would have tried to influence the podcast to a degree. I don't think Ethan really likes that. I can imagine liking the idea of having someone that will defend you at all costs and doesn't agree with any criticism that you ever get, which is what AB has shown here. There is really like zero criticism towards Ethan in this entire video, which is very telling. So you got upset because someone was criticizing your favorite streamer and then it got a lot of views and likes, so you were like, oh, let me take it down. So you created a video that a lot of H3 cult members would hold on to and say, hey, here's the rebuttal for that video, not realizing that it's really a compilation of very dumb points and primarily things going above your head. Like, how do you not understand? How do you criticize him reading the definition of dance monkey and then you showing us that you do not understand what it is? That is amazing. That is amazing, AB. That is amazing. All right, I need to go walk the dog. This was a long watch. I'm glad it's over. I don't think I will ever look into anything AB has said or done because honestly, there's really nothing of interest there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.